Hey, hey, how's everybody doing on this hot ass Monday? It is so freaking hot here. I got the fans all going, so let me know if they're too loud because I'm sitting out here by the pool. And sometimes the patio fans can be a bit loud, but it is just freaking roasting down here. I mean, my squirrels didn't even come to eat this morning. It's so freaking hot. I guess they figure, no, they ain't touching that shit. They're not climbing down that hot stuff. They'll come this evening now. But yeah, it's just hot. But I'm going to play you some music. And then I'll be right back to say hey to everybody. Enjoy the intro.
Home in the valley, home in the city, home isn't pretty, ain't no home for me. Home in the darkness, home on the highway, home isn't my way, home I'll never be. Burning for you. I'm burning for you. Time is the essence. Time is the season. Time ain't no reason. Got no time to show. Time everlasting. Time to play these sides. Time ain't on my side. Time I'll never know. Burn out day. Burn out the night. Now I want to tell you what's wrong from what's right. I've seen suns that were freezing and lives that were blue. But I'm burning for you. I'm burning for you. Burn out the day, burn out the night. I can't see no reason to put up a fight. I'm living for giving the devil his due. I'm burning for you. I'm burning for you. I'm burning for you. I'm burning for you.
Alrighty then. We are done with that. Sometimes I don't even want, I want to make a shorter intro. For days I'm not into much of an intro. Um, I'm gonna, yeah. I gave up on it because I got so tired of spending hours and hours and hours and hours and hours on it. And everything I'd use music wise, I'd pre upload and YouTube would copyright, even though I got it from them. So that's why I quit doing the buttons because I got tired of having to mute everything. Let me say hi to everybody. It's so freaking hot out here. We may end up in the house, peeps. It's just too hot out here. I'm old. I'm a wiener. I will need another shower after my live just from sweating. It's so sticky. Let's say hi. Hey, Mystic Butterfly. I love that name. Hey, Seeker. Hey, Thor. Hey, Daddy's baby girl. How are you? How are you feeling? Oh no, rapper's hot and heavy today. Oh jeez. I haven't really been on YouTube much other than over Twisted Tragedies. Um, Waiting on a verdict, but it's going to be hung jury. The judge is trying to force it, but which sucks because if a judge forces a jury into making a decision and it's a not guilty, the state can't go back at it and have another go at it because the judge was wrong. The judge did wrong, but I don't know. I called it when the jury went out. I said that it was going to be a hung jury simply because of all the drama and all the threatening and harassment of the witnesses in the Karen Ray case that has gone on, and basically people have gotten away with. People's homes have been bothered. They are followed to school events, to their businesses. It's insane. And then for the judge to turn around and let Turtle Boy, who's under 19 felony charges for messing with people in this case, and she lets him in with a phone that he is allowed to sit there and use so he can, and you can bet he got pictures of every one of those drawers and you can bet they have already been circulating. um I just, I don't know. I could see why the jury would be, because the evidence is there. I sat through the whole trial. I rewatched all the experts and the taillight evidence and all that. I've rewatched it all. The evidence is there to convict her. Of second degree? No, I don't think so. Manslaughter was more the vibe. But everything else, if you just add everything else, yeah. I think some of the jurors would be highly worried and intimidated. And yes, they were. There's no way they live in that small area. There's no way they didn't know what's going on. Okay, I'll never believe that. But you know what? I'll take a hung jury over a not guilty any day, because then the Commonwealth has another shot, and she needs to pay for what she did. She hit that man, and he laid there and died because she chose not to do anything about it. Plain and simple. There has to be some kind of repercussions for that. But we're going to get into all that. Let me finish saying hi. I'm sorry. I went off on a tangent. Sorry about that. Hey, Julie. Hey, Molly. Hey, Dimple Duck. Good to see you. Hi, Wise Angel. Hi, Marie. Starry Night. Hey, how are you? Hey, Christina. Hey, Skull Girl. Hi, Mr. Nobody. That's a cool name. I'm not. I'm learning all about the people you're making videos about just for making them. You make some good videos. Hey, Terry. Hey, The Runaway Truth. You can make AI music. They won't strike you then. Honey, I don't even know how to do AI. I don't even. I looked at downloaded a couple of the programs that supposedly you can do free just to learn, and they were shitty. I need some pointers. I just need somebody to show me what to do, and then I can do. You don't never have to come back. It's just, yeah. I'm trying to learn. Hey, I've come a long way. When I started my YouTube channel, what was it, a year and a half ago? That long ago, I didn't know how to do shit. As far as like, I know how to do background checks and stuff because I had to do that, for my tenants, when they applied for an apartment. But I mean, that kind of stuff. But like making videos or going live and how to run all that, I didn't know how to do none of that stuff. And I still don't know a lot. There's Hey J Dog. Hi Shorty. No eyes. Cool name. You guys have some really cool avatar pictures. Yeah, they did. They forget that a man did lose his life. And hey Cash. And we will never know if he would have made it had he gotten help right away. Because the skull injury, the skull fracture, the bleed may not have been enough. It may not have with immediate medical attention and medical intervention. You just don't know. I mean, he had better chances than laying there freezing to death. It's like she didn't even. Uh, hey, Dr. Vance. Ooh, we got a doctor in the house. Hey, Jay. Hey, Toe Beans. I love that name too. I like to read you guys' names. Mindful Michelle. By the time I heard about that case, TV was already up in there with all the hurry. I knew I'd never catch up to be able to form any kind of opinion. It was already polluted in my. Yeah, see, I was in it from the start. Actually, I had knew about the Karen Reed. I knew about John getting hit before TB actually amped it up. That's how I found out about TB was because of that. And then, of course, I went and did my own deep dive on Turtle Boy. And let me tell you, not shocked, not surprised. This has been his MO since the get go. But I am going to do that and put out that deep dive on him. And I will be covering every bit of his trial. I've already committed to do it with other people, and I could have streamed it on my channel, and I don't know why I didn't. It was stupid. I should have. So I did it the way I'd already committed to, which I'm glad I did because that was the same time the kids just got out of school for summer, and it's a big adjustment when you got littles and they're not here all day, and then all of a sudden they're here all day. It kind of cramps your style a little bit, with your YouTube schedule. Hey, Tammy. Hey, Lucy. Holland, Amsterdam. Oh, I'm coming. I want to visit there so bad. Amsterdam is right up there with the UK. I want to visit all them all that whole area. Heck, I might stay. It's always been my dream. But Amsterdam got the best weed. My hubby was there. Oh, the stupid lighter. Sorry, I muted because I know some of you don't like the clicking of the lighter, and sometimes I click it so I don't smoke. But this time I'm trying to not light a cigarette, but because my kids are hid right now, so they don't know. I'm very, 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 very cautious. But they will be here any minute, so that's why I got to enjoy myself before they get here. Kiki's eyes. Oh, hey Brittany. Hey Lady Starfire. Turtle Boy memes. Oh, I'd love to see them. He's that dude is. That's a whole nother. That's a whole zoo in itself. I'm not kidding you. That is a whole zoo in itself. And I've got freaking Google Drives full of receipts on him through all the Karen Reed shenanigans. I mean, him messing with the witnesses, tweets, the stuff on Twitter is going to blow you all's mind. Some of it when I show it to you, you just, oh, The extreme and the lengths these people have went to is above and beyond anything we've seen. No wonder Betty couldn't put him down. Those two together, mm, that would be a true cyclone of disaster. They are so much alike, and I think she realized that day she did decide to talk about him, that she stopped and never went back because, she's okay with his antics. It's stuff she'd do. I was hoping. I Hi, Monkey Bar. Hey, Lucy. Look up when he was a teacher. It's wild what he was doing back then too. Yeah, I have some. I have some of it. When I do deep dive, so I can make up my own opinion. I go back to day one if I can find it, and that Wayback Machine helps. It Hills turned me on to that. That thing really can help you out. I At first, because I didn't know much about him, at first I was kind of shocked. I mean, this was supposed to have been a reputable school teacher. Uh, yeah, no, he's not. No, he's none of those things. Um, he didn't voluntarily leave his job just because he had a, better income from YouTube, um, or his failed articles and all this other stuff. He left before he got canned for inappropriate behavior, and I've got it all. But there's other cases that he's done this to, not just this one. Karen and the O'Keefes are not the first people that he's attacked with his turtle riders. Far from it. He just would escalate to a whole new level every time. The more and more he got away with his shenanigans, it would escalate, just like Betty. The more they get away with, the more they do. The further they'll push that line. And that man's pushed it beyond to where he's looking at some serious jail time. But he's so egotistical, he does not believe that they have anything on him and that he's going to be found guilty. This is a man that stood in court and admitted that he does revenge porn. But that's just, his ego will never, ever admit that he messed up big time and he's going to jail. He's not even going to admit it when he's in jail. He'll try to spin that. And you can bet he will still have his channels for a while when he first goes in, because he don't do most of his stuff anyway. He'll just keep having the people do it that do it now. He just won't be there with the mouth, or they'll record him over the phone. He'll do it. I mean, he had women lie, and lawyers lie about being paralegals and working on this case, his case, or to get them in to see him without supervision. When it's your lawyers, you don't get watched, like that. And you get more time. And he had women lie to do that. And lawyers go along with it. That's insanity. Based purely on trial. As a juror, there is enough reasonable doubt if I sat there. Not guilty, hung trial, guilty. It's not over regardless until the truth is actually proved. Sad all around. I see, but yeah. And that's good that you feel that way. That's what I like. People have their own opinions. I would have had no problem finding her guilty. I think that the jurors should, and they knew, and I don't care how much they say they didn't. There's no way in that small area that they did not know about all the harassment and stalking and threatening of the witnesses, of anybody that went on. My dog, I'm gonna send him to the moon. He's got this new thing where he gets in the in the kitchen window and just stands there and barks his forehead off for no damn reason. There's nothing out there. It's just this new thing, and I'm gonna nip it in the butt now, because if I don't, it won't stop. Oh, so he goes to lay down. Lay down, Bubba. Take a nap. He went in and laid down. He'll come right back out. Oh, you did? Monkey Mars says I stayed. Ernie Shaw said he's going to go to the Sebastian. Oh, Lord. Ernie, dude, stay away. But you know what? That'll give me somebody else to review, because I'm going to review Betty today, but I have to be honest. I'm getting burnt out on Betty. I really, truly am. But today's about the queens of drama. And we all know she's in the forefront. Oh, the dog's right back out in the kitchen barking. Oh, Lord help me. But anyway, with the Karen Reed thing, someone's helping me who has a lot more, was on the inside of this, who did think that she was innocent and was right along with the turtles. And then she started being shown evidence, and she started being shown the things they were trying to change up. And she said she's seen the light, and she got attacked like no other for it. I mean, she actually had to shut down accounts because of these people. And they're on Twitter, they will devour you, the turtle riders. And so will he. You go lay down. You lay down, be a good boy. Lay down. Down. Look, any other time when I snap and put my hand down, you know to lay down. And now you know I'm through the door, you're not going to listen to me. Of course you're not. I love the dog. I really do. But you're going to see. I clipped some of the best parts of the trial, so not to put everybody to sleep. And I'm putting it all together, and we're going to do a live and go over that, leading into what's happening with Turtle Boy. And there's a lot there to, oh my Lord. I've got so much, and it's trying to organize it all. It's going to take a couple lives just to do all the antics that they've done to these people. I mean, people have seen the video clips and stuff, but there's so much more behind the scenes that they've done that I can't understand why more people have not been arrested. I mean, there's proof. I've got actual proof they did this stuff. And it's been hard to hold on to all this time and not run and do a live. But I want to do it where you see it all in its totality, what they've done. Anyway. It's wild. There's no one on these YouTube streets that I would risk my safety or going to jail for just so I can be part of their chat. These turtle riders, there's some of them, they don't even know what a boundary is. That Tom CPU, that's a scary dude. That dude stalks people. He follows people. He will not hesitate to put hands on someone. He's done it several times during all this, male or female. He's done some really nasty shit. And I'm doing a whole live just on that because there's just too much with him. Yeah. But I also have parts in with the videos I'm going to be showing on this stuff where you can see his part in all of it too, because there's just so much. It's just taking a minute. Bet is setting up to have a reason to get rid of the dog. She's saying it's a she, and by the puppy's paws, there's no way it's a small dog. Yeah, it didn't. It may have Chihuahua in it. I don't know, but that is not a full blood Chihuahua. Not that I've ever seen. I mean, my neighbors always had Chihuahuas, and my sister always had them, and my best friend always had them. And yeah, that doesn't look like no Chihuahua, full blood Chihuahua puppy I've ever seen. I'm not saying that somewhere down there bloodline there's not chi in it, but those that's not a full blood Chihuahua. Look at them paws. I'll be shocked if it is. I'll eat my words and say I was wrong. I'm not a dog breeder, but now Betty added another pin to her collection. She is a good dog trainer. She's a master mechanic. She's a master plumber. She's a master electrician. She's the best drywaller that ever hit Florida or came up in Florida. She's a legalese. She's an awesome criminal investigator and one of the best media sources you'll ever find. And on top of all that, she's a dog trainer. I don't know how she finds time. Y'all laughing with me, right? Okay, so who do you want to start with first? Oh my God, she did a video an hour ago. Now she did this on TikTok, and because she said in her other 2 lives, she's already on 3 today, 4. Um, she said she did a TikTok and was going to upload it to her YouTube. I hope you get busted for you reuse content, Betty, because you'll show it on all your channels. But she swears up and down. She can confidently say, without a doubt, 100%, she's proven Christopher Proudfoot was not at work. That he was not there. He was actually at home or on his way to home or on his way back. But you'll see. You know how she flip flops. Yeah. Sorry. I be on spot. There was 2 baby spiders and a baby frog in the basket thing in the pool. You know that thing that you have that you yeah, and the kids wanted to have a freaking funeral. I'm like, oh hell to the no, not today. I am so tired of having funerals for everything that dies. I said, look, you didn't know Mr. Spider. You don't like them. You're afraid of them. What does it matter? Well, then he got his beefies hurt. So we took him out. We wrapped him in a napkin. And we had a little memorial service for them. He gets all up in his feels. He's the typical 6-year-old. That's yeah. I wouldn't doubt anything with her. Hey Jessica, good to see you, Jessica. I haven't seen you for a minute. It's good to see you. Hey JJ. Hey Wishful. And off topic. I'm not gonna show. Oh, and I do want to show a video, guys. You got to check out Literally Davis's channel. She got all of the scanner calls that time period that Betty, and I'm going to play it for you. But it's a lot. It's a lot to go through, and she was able to go through some of it, and you're going to hear what I've been saying all along is the truth. They did not pull Betty over. Betty flagged that officer down. Were they aware she was there? Yeah. Was it YouTubers? No. It was a couple locals who seen her driving crazy on the road and stopping and jumping out and yeah, and constantly going up past the Proudfoots and the Bowersoxs homes. I will show you where Betty is putting up her flyers and you use your own mind. But I will show you that it wasn't to put awareness out there, to get awareness out there, to put Sebastian's flyers up. It was to poke at the Proudfoots and the Bowersoxs. She was trying to evoke a response from them from the minute she got there prior to getting there, but amped it up once there. It's her pattern. I've showed that in the Kathleen Moore case when she only went to the boyfriend's home. Um, yeah. And showed it in the Petito case. Okay. We'll watch a little. There's only a little bit in I want to watch. And then we'll check out the one she just uploaded from TikTok because I don't watch her on TikTok. Um, I only go to TikTok for one reason and one reason only. And that was um, Tony, TikTok Tony, and his army of girls. And I do have the rest of that live. I do want to play you guys. I just had to make sure that the personal stuff was out. Hey, it's me, Tiffany. Oh, thank you, Jessica. Well, it's good to have you back at chat. Um, Sadly, with the Reed case, it's going to cost those taxpayers a lot more money. That I don't like. I They didn't handle this. Nobody did from the get go, on either side. On either side, and the judge. Mm, some of the she sometimes she's a little biased and not to the Commonwealth. Um, I the investigation, yeah, could it have been better? Absolutely. Uh, like I said, you could say things about all around, but too much was let happen to the witnesses, and I think that's what is also weighing on the jury's minds. But that's just my opinion. Um, I don't know. These people are a lot better, not better, but calmer. Because I got to be honest, if it was my pizza shop, there is no way my husband would have put up with that time after time after time. Especially someone out there accusing my son of murder. No. Yeah, there would have been problems. Because people like Turtle Boy and his writers, legal, giving them a cease and desist or even filing a civil lawsuit means nothing. That will give him content for the next 10 years while he's in prison. But, you know, unless they get a bunch, that might. But yeah, I don't think he's too worried about it. That's my feeling. But anyway, we'll get back.
65 or over. Did you know you could leave your loved ones with an inheritance of up to $300,000?
Any breaking information
Okay,
on
this one we're gonna watch a little bit of.
If you're
Oh my
55
God,
or
she's
over,
got her
did you
ads
know
on
you could leave your
high.
loved ones with an inheritance of up to 300?
Oh, don't tell Betty
put
that.
my,
She'll
my
take
slippers
insurance
on
up.
and go out.
And Brittanyj, honey, I haven't forgot about you. Girl, you as stupid does. You we're gonna talk about you in a minute.
Really? No. So still, no, no, wrong place. Wrong place.
Betty, look, I get some days are super busy. You might oversleep a little bit. I'm not one to go at anybody's looks because why do you think I don't turn the camera on? Because I didn't have time to put on makeup today. I was playing with the kids in the pool. I'm not coming on here if I don't have makeup on and my hair is combed. And I'm just saying, do a little bit of self care before you fire up your live. I mean, the other day, your eyes weren't even open. You barely lifted your head off the pillow and you went live. That's, you seriously need a mental health break. I'm not being mean, by no means. No, I'm trying to be totally serious with you. You need a mental health backup, back away. Keep backing away. If they like you today, they'll be there a week from now after you've had some rest. Because you're going to get yourself, and you may have already done it, into a mess you're not going to be able to get out of so easy this time, Betty. Just saying. This is not this family. There is a difference because they have a little bit more, how do I say this? They have the means, some of the means, if they choose to go after you legally. Whereas the other families you've attacked and harassed, sadly, don't. And you knew there was nothing they were going to do legally as far as civil. But you are on that fine line of criminal. And in some places, it may be enough for criminal charges. So you need to watch, Betty. You're not that legal ease you like to call yourself. And I don't understand you calling yourself a legal ease. But whatever. Go with it. I'm just trying to... Oh. And you're doing all this because for the first time in your life, you've got someone on your side that you think is important. You got the dad of a missing child encouraging this behavior from you, supporting this behavior. That's why you just totally spiraled. You need a break. You also have some court documents that you need to get done that the judge has asked you to do. I don't know how many times. But, your case, do you, boo? Because you're going to get it thrown out. Instead of doing what the judges asked you or ordered you to do, you will sit there and you will write up more frivolous filings about what just happened in Tennessee and try to blame it all on her, on Queen, when it absolutely had nothing to do with her. Nothing. And you can't link it all together. Just because I was in someone's chat doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean I'm conspiring against you. That's insanity. For you to even, but yeah, that's what you're going to spend your time doing, and then you're gonna you'll turn and say, "Whoa, the judge was bought. The judge was no good. It was a bad judge. They paid the judge off. They lied about me." That's exactly what she's going to do. But yeah, there we go. Okay, Thor.
Anyways, I was just on there talking, about the trip that we had and everything like that. And I figured there have been some people that have been sending me emails. We haven't really talked about emails in a while or addressing the audience very much because I've been on the road. I've been on the road for a week. I've been exhausted. My head hasn't even,
You've been on the road, Betty. It was like a vacation. You spent most of your time bitching. But okay, we'll ride with it.
I'm just now starting, like, I feel like my bearings are finally starting to, I don't know. You guys get it.
No comment on
I'm
that
lost.
one.
And so I was thinking about this. We've been talking about these autistic programs, and one of our subscribers, I gotta stretch my legs out. Getting old.
Okay, so what she means by this is Betty has asked her audience to call every place in the states they live in that deals with autistic children to see if Sebastian is there and to tell them about Sebastian.
One of my subs was talking about, we're looking at facilities, and I know a lot of people have been working on getting the facilities called and stuff like that, but also churches. Apparently there's some churches out there, and somebody was reminding me.
A church would not. None of these places could hide him, Betty. Do you know the kind of money it would take? It's expensive to use these private places. There would be a trail because that would require sums of money, Betty. And there would be, and if it was done the other way, through the insurance, which most places are private and the insurance don't work anyway, don't cover, there would be a paper trail. So what you're saying and have been is ludicrous. It's just an impossibility. As deep as law enforcement has dug, there would be large sums of money missing out of their accounts. And just because they live in nice houses doesn't mean they're rich, Betty. It means they pay their bills. And they have good credit. Yeah, I'm sure they make decent money. But there's no way they have lumps of cash like that. Do you know what, at 4 months, what it would have cost? And then to keep it private? Keep it secret? Oh, Lord. You're deranged.
That there was another true crime channel that was sharing information about a 14-year-old.
Of course, law enforcement has a lot more than they've released to the public. They better. They should. She should have been arrested for public endangerment for live streaming while driving. She should have been charged with harassment when she stalked and harassed Terry Bowersoxs in the middle of the freaking road. Jumped out of her car.
And how they believe he's in Lafayette, Tennessee, at a ministry being hidden. And I thought that.
Oh my God! She's gonna have everybody call every church in their state. I can't.
That was interesting.
Of course it is. Do you?
That might open some other things up for us. I'm unsure. Good morning, GDF. It's nice to see you, Elser. Steffers is up in the house. Crystal, Pistols, Dennis, it's nice to see you. Is it Denise?
Steffers, the ultimate super fan. She's the one that did that really awful interview with you. Remember, you stood her up like twice. And then you finally showed. I reviewed it months and months ago. Yeah, she's... Whew. She... has feelings or something.
I think I called you. I'm sorry, Denise. It's Monday for me as well. So see you, Steffers. Our whole, so keep them in your prayers. I must have missed something. They say might be with the Amish, huh?
No, Sebastian. Okay, now her chat is telling her, and
Wells
Betty
Fargo
will run with this stuff. The people go in her chats and say, Betty will run with it. Now someone's saying, well, he's with the Amish. She will run with the church thing and the Amish thing, saying it's an Amish church. Watch. Betty's... The Amish aren't hiding them. Who's connected to the Amish?
This is starting to get concerning for me. Why are
Oh.
our children becoming prey where they're able to be hidden away? And I mean, in America, like we've got laws to prevent things like this from happening. Why are they not being enforced? I think is the
What do you mean they're not being enforced? Huh? No one's allowing it, Betty. Do you understand that? No one's allowing it. It's sickos that take kids and hide them. That's who's doing it. No one allows it. They don't just stand there and say, "Oh, okay, you can hide that one for now." Fucking idiot.
the main
Hey, Gina
issue
Marie.
here.
Hey, Chapped.
Good morning, Della. It's nice to see you. I hope
Hey,
you're doing
Ian.
well. So I thought that was interesting and wanted to bring that up to
That's not interesting.
everybody.
He's not at a church. He's not at a facility for autistic children. And he's not being held by the Amish. Nor is he being held at an Indian reservation in Alaska.
So I've been talking to one of our gals here. She's been very, very helpful. You guys know her as Nola's Ma. And she does she's been sending me a lot of good stuff over the time we've been discussing this case. And this is really no different. I thought this was really well done by Nola's mom.
Betty, I am so glad to hear the other day you said that you're letting your hair grow out so you can get all that fried stuff off. I am happy to hear after months and months you finally listened to someone. Crimes and Fashion's been trying to tell you. Boy, I miss Lisa. Crimes and Fashion's been trying to tell you for a long time. Let it go. Let it grow. So have I. So have a lot of other people. It's just nice to know that eventually you do listen. You got a long way to go, though. But, yeah, you still got a long way to go. Because if you would cut it now, it would be like a short pixie. It would have to be that short. If you didn't want a short pixie, then you might need to let it go. Let it grow for a little bit more. But girl, take that bucket of bleach off your desk and put that thing in your trash bin on Wednesday night.
And it says, okay, well, let me get past that. This is more personal. I need to send this to you as well, especially since you're going to be in Tennessee.
Oh, and by the way, speaking of emails,
Tennessee.
Hey, Brittany. Oh, I will. I forgot to put it on. Did I even put my banner on? Yeah. I started getting freaking emails again. In fact, I went into my email while I was live yesterday, or day before Saturday. I wasn't live yesterday. And that's how I seen them but why are the caters coming back around? Seriously, why are the caters coming back around? I'll show you all the emails there. Same old bullshit after we get through with this.
But I'm going back to Tennessee at the end of the month. And maybe something that you might want to do, might want to look into, I think is what it. Seth may already be aware of all this, but I'm truly not sure because
Only it's weird. These emails are apologizing for everything, admitting to everything, and then asking me to forward it on to Without a Crystal Ball. I don't have nothing to do with her. You forward it, you fool. But it's all bullshit. It's I have a hunch, but I'll prove it.
I have not heard anybody mention
that dog
any
is
of
back
stuff.
in that window.
So it's going through and I didn't think about this either, and I'm not going to go through the entire email, but it's about, what Kathy Bowersoxs had, what was her listing? What was she listing?
Kathy Bowersoxs' job as a realtor has nothing to do with Sebastian being missing, Betty. She wasn't there. That was not her car at 5:30 in the morning at a closed convenience store gas station thing. Leave these people alone. You went to their home. You recorded everything you could and put it all over your channels. That's their private home. That's their sanctuary, just like yours is yours, and you don't want no one coming there. Then you accuse them of putting him in the woods. And you said, oh, but them woods are screaming to me. They're yelling to me. Then you turn around and said, but I think he's already out of here. Shut up. Because the horrible things you said they did. But her being you have no proof of Betty. And her being a relative or a realtor, which, I'm sure you're jealous of because, you claimed briefly, what was it, not even a year, to have a realtor's license, but you never did anything with it. I don't think anybody would ever buy a house from you. So I could see that not working out for you there, Bets.
She listing what houses were vacant.
Hey, Patricia. Hey, Running Bear.
This is something very interesting. It kind of brings us back. Remember when I was on the live last night, I was telling you guys that we have like this explosion, this house explosion, and right down the road is where these glasses were seen.
Well, okay, number one, the explosion has nothing to do with Sebastian. Number two, I'm so sick of you and these damn glasses. She refuses, just like she did with Layla Santinello. Law enforcement had said for months that wasn't her at the marble slab. But Betty and Olive Oil ran with it anyway. And she knows the glasses had nothing to do with Sebastian either. But here we are.
Well, it appears that there was a house that was actually located and listed by Kathy in that area, and it looks like.
So she's a realtor. It's not a big town, Betty. Especially in the areas they live. They live out on the outskirts. They don't live down in the city. So what? She's a realtor. Big deal. It doesn't have anything to do with it. Stop this. Leave these people's private lives alone. It is none of your business nor your audience's business. Quit stalking these people. How do your chat not see that you're the one stalking and harassing people? They aren't doing a damn thing to you. They don't even acknowledge your existence, Betty. And by the way, a lot of people haven't pointed this out. I did the other night, but I'm going to point it out again. Seth thinks so highly of you that you were the butt of him and Uncle Taco's jokes on Brittanyj's while everybody sat there and fake giggled along. How's it feel to be the butt of his jokes? Because you were. They weren't laughing with you. They were laughing at you. You need to go back and maybe slow it down and listen to it, Betty. Yeah. Seth doesn't care for you. Just listen to his tone when he even mentions your name. Listen to what he says, the words he uses. I don't think he cares for you at all. But I'll tell you what, it'd be a cold day in hell that I'd be up here fighting ride or die like you do for him while he's sitting there with his Uncle Taco and making you the butt of their jokes.
She had sold 2 other properties on that same road.
So
it's quite interesting.
No.
That, this is an area.
Oh my God. It's interesting breaking news. A realtor sold houses on a road where a house exploded or in the neighborhood. Breaking news, people. You better get out your notepads and write this down.
Touch Court is an area in Gallatin that
Running Bear 100%
Bowersoxs has a lot of contact in. And it just so happens that some of these glasses were found on that same or in that same area. I think it was actually on that same road. It might even have been, I don't even
Betty, none of this has anything to do with Sebastian being missing. None of it. Stop polluting the case with your deranged, distorted views.
remember what house it was that I know they have it marked. I've got to go back and look at it, but it was very close to that, in my opinion. And so then we, on top of all of this, guys, right down the road from this hutch area is where that house exploded. Now, the house, they thought it was not a was intentionally set or done. But we don't know what that lady that lived in the house, what her her circumstances were. She might have been going through a divorce. It may have been her husband. I mean, for all we know, that did something like that. But this is like some weird, bizarre stuff. And I'm sorry, but Sumner County's got some weird things going on. It's kind of becoming hard not to feel like there's an underlining criminal element there. I mean, we got houses exploding in Gallatin.
She kidding me? Is she freaking kidding me? Betty, you don't know because you didn't bother to look it up to know what happened involving that house. You don't know if it was a gas leak. You just don't know. You don't know if the people did do it. But what I can tell you is it has nothing to do with Sebastian.
Not sure how I feel about that.
The condo collapse in Miami, Surfside collapse. Don't tell her that. She'll tie it to this case. Houses blow up all the time. Don't you watch the news? No, she doesn't. She is the news. See, everybody just reads Betty wrong. Betty is the news. She is it.
Just saying. So I think it's very interesting, and this is not the first time that these glasses have been brought up. These glasses were brought up again when the news had come out about the explosion, and they're brought up again now that we're looking into Kathy Bowersoxs' background.
Kathy's Bowersoxs' background has absolutely nothing to do with Sebastian being missing. It is not your freaking business to stalk and harass these people, to dig into their lives.
These are the people that we feel may be responsible for something happening to Sebastian.
Don't matter what you feel, because you're not relevant to the case. Let law enforcement do their job. It's not your job. You don't have one.
At minimum, moving him somewhere. It's quite odd for me.
This is the stuff your insurance company doesn't want you to know.
Betty, you're quite concerning for everybody.
Hi Betty, I'm with you. Why the kids are disappearing, and that's in that area. Yeah, and I'm kind of hesitant because I feel like there's this connection between, like, I hear Don is going to be speaking. I don't know. There's just something weird. I keep hearing Don Wells' name being brought up. I don't know if it's rumor or not, but I feel...
Betty, you know damn well it's rumor. You're one of the ones spreading the rumor. This case has nothing to do with Don Wells. Absolutely nothing. No, they're not doing any speak together. There's no connection. There's no tying them together. Stop it. You've been saying that, trying to force this issue, trying to get your people to believe that they're connected when they are not.
Feel like I hope Don Wells is not speaking to Chris Proudfoot. That would just put a whole nother level of weird on this case for me.
Well, that's what you've been saying all along, Betty. You have been trying your damnedest to tie Chris and Dawn together. And you couldn't be further off as usual, Betty.
There was a podcast done yesterday, 14-year-old missing father, possibly allegedly in a cult. Yeah, I read that. Yeah.
Yeah, she read that, but she's not going to touch it unless there's a lot of media drawn to it and she can grift off it. She's not going to touch it.
FM, perfect. Yeah. Hey, Pete, it's nice to see you.
See, she blows right past that there's a 14-year-old missing that the parents could possibly be responsible for. She blew right past that case because she can't grift it yet. But if it gets up there, she'll grift it. You owe me a Coke? All right. I don't drink soda, but okay.
Lila Bullhorn, it's nice to see you. Yeah, she's out. My hands have become chew toys. Okay, they become chew toys.
I can't.
Sausages. Did you get my email? To be honest with you, right now. But when I was on the road, I received a massive amount of emails that I didn't have an opportunity to read. So I will be getting through those. I keep saying I'm going to.
Betty, why didn't you have an opportunity to read them? You went live a lot. You were in your hotel room a lot because you went live a lot. And even when you weren't in your hotel room, you were live. So I don't get it. What else was you doing? Watching everybody else's lives about you? That's what you were doing. You were watching everybody else's channels.
It takes longer and longer to get through them. So I'm just working at it, and that's all I can do. Some of the stuff is probably outdated because it was from a week ago, But I'm trying. Super bizarre, right? Yep. Hey, Sasha, it's nice to see you. What are the odds? I'm down south, and an Amber. Yes, all surrounding missing children, not adults. Yeah. The bag on the head. There's weird stuff going on there. I don't know what is going on, but I'm starting to have a problem with the lack of process of this law enforcement.
Okay, guys. Betty is starting to have a problem. Hey, truth seeker, with law enforcement. Shocker. She's gonna shake this law enforcement in Tennessee up because she's just not happy with them.
Outfit. And again, it comes back to whether forensics are done. If forensics aren't done, they have to this case out, and they need to get in there and get those forensics done immediately. Every single ticking day, more of that forensics is going away. Katie already had the house cleaned. I keep wondering, did she have it cleaned because they did forensics? We don't know.
Maybe because she likes a clean house. I mean, I don't know.
I just would like somebody to tell us whether their forensics have been done so we can get off the topic.
It's not your business.
Take the freaking case for the public to know whether law enforcement is doing their job.
It's not your business to know. Now, is it?
In fact, the public has a right to know whether law enforcement is doing their job.
No, you don't. It's an open, active investigation. They do not have to tell you a damn thing. And quit telling people you're a taxpayer in Tennessee. You are not a taxpayer or a resident of Tennessee. So stop lying to people and saying because you bought a soda or stayed at a hotel, that makes you a taxpayer. It does not. You're twisting it to fit what you're saying, and that's not like you do with everything.
And it's getting frustrating.
It is.
They're withholding information they don't need to withhold, but they don't give a shit. And much like the way they treat their public, I think everybody there needs to be fired.
Oh,
I'm sorry, I just do.
Everybody
from the beginning. Everybody keeps saying
everybody. Well, hot damn. Who's going to be the police then? And if you fire everybody, who's going to rehire police? The new ones? You? Oh, everybody fired. Damn, Betty. Are you going to give them, some kind of notice? Something? I don't know. You're going to buy out all these contracts. I don't know.
They're doing their job. They're doing this. They're doing that. Well, can you just have a press release saying, "Hey, this is what we've done. We've searched this many acres. We've had this many leads." I mean, just stupid.
She said, "What, Ricky? My favorite was in one of her lives. She claimed a FedEx truck in the same neighborhood as her was really the FBI." Oh my God.
Shit that will make us calm down a little bit. I'm just saying. That's really kind of
no,
what I'm looking
the puppy's
for.
still there.
Just something. Because I've never in my life dealt with a law enforcement. It feels like they're like everybody likes to try to find these excuses of why not to do their damn job.
Okay. Wait. Wait. What? Betty. They have done their job. You're just mad they're not telling you what they've done. And you're not the legalese expert you claim because you don't have a clue. But they have pulled out all the stops in this case. Meanwhile, there is 42 other children. 43 now. 43 other children missing. Most are persons of color. They don't get no attention from the likes of you. They don't even get a mention. You won't post their flyers because that's all these kids got was a flyer. Just saying, Betty. Don't tell me law enforcement hasn't pulled out all the stops in this case. They haven't done nothing, not a fraction, for all the other missing kids.
It's getting irritating, but hey, whatever. I mean, there's only going to be so much people are going to take.
She's 45.
Sorry. And I've got a community there that doesn't give a shit about a boy, so I really don't care about that.
Well, almost 45.
There's a very few people that give a damn in that community. Very few.
What?
There's a very few people that give about a boy, so I really don't care about that. Hey, sorry. It's getting irritating, but hey, whatever. I mean, there's only going to be so much people are going to take. Sorry. It's getting irritating to do their damn job.
Okay, now next she's going to go after the neighborhood. Hey, Hope. My dog saw her puppy and pawed my phone while looking at me with those mom save her eyes. Does she know the cops can see what she's doing just like the rest of us? She's going to end up getting herself undoing her hinges the way she always pulls crap like this. She thinks she's untouchable. And yeah, she thinks she can do what she wants. Old Bet's here. Oh, that dog.
It's getting irritating, but hey, whatever. I mean, there's only going to be so much people are going to take. Sorry. And I've got a community there that doesn't give a shit about a boy, so I really don't care about that. There's a very few people that give a damn in that community. Very few. They do. I got to tell you, they kick ass. The few that are out there fighting for this kid, they kick ass. But just this whole community, just this they want to sweep it under the rug and stick their head in the sand. Like, you guys have money. You guys have no voice. Where's the alpha males and alpha females in that neighborhood? Or are all you guys just sucked it out of the brain that you guys have to be kind people to one another? Right? You got a missing kid. I think kindness at this point is out the window. We can be respectful, right? But somebody's got to help with this case. Or is anybody helping? Because it doesn't. Okay,
wait a minute. I'm sorry, I had to go check on the kids. They are back, and she wants to make a rubber band bracelet, but I got to be careful because I have a cat, and those little bands, if he was to chew on one of them and swallow one of them, it could kill him. But it could also, require a very expensive surgery because he swallowed a rubber band. So yeah, no, I'm sorry, I got to be real careful with that because she's my messy diva. No matter what she does, she makes a mess. There's a website that shows you Betty's current phone number, current address, emails, relative, no friends. It's very educational. Okay. So the neighborhood, it didn't do anything for Sebastian either, because in Betty's opinion, they should have done all this stuff. But she has no idea what any of them did. She doesn't know if any of them went out searching, put up flyers. She doesn't know. It's just not the way she wants it done. And because none of the neighbors are talking to these people, which Betty, this is going to get passed around, what you're saying about the neighbors, the neighborhood. So they already wouldn't talk to you. You pretty much sealed the deal that none will talk to you now. I'm just saying. At least not any reputable ones.
Guys have to be kind people to one another. Right? You got a missing kid.
Uh-huh.
I think kindness at this point is out the window. We can be respectful, right? But somebody's got to help with this case.
Okay.
Or is anybody helping? Because it doesn't feel like they are. Not one neighbor has a sign in their yard about this kid. It's disgusting. That community with all that money makes me sick to my stomach.
Okay, there you have it. She thinks because they live in these houses. Okay, the cost of living is different in Tennessee than it is Florida. You'll get more bang for your buck, so to speak, when it comes to real estate. But because they have nice houses, automatically assumes they have money. And it doesn't. It means they have good credit and pay their bills. That's what, they're working people. They work every day for what they have. But it doesn't mean they're rich. But that's all Betty sees is dollar signs. Who am I going to be able to try to sue? Because a lot of people, she's happy to take $500 and walk away. To her, that's a huge win. And it's money. And that's all she's seeing. A lot of people would rather give her $500 or $1,000 and walk away than, deal with her. Because that's what's happened in the past. But times have changed. People have changed. Things have changed. Don't think you're ready for that, Bets.
And if you live in there, I'm sorry. Not to be offensive. But that community, that's the first time I've ever walked into a community with a missing kid and nobody, I could not tell a child was missing. Usually parents.
Betty, what did you want them to do?
Of other children in communities, step up to the plate. They didn't even put ribbons up for this boy.
Oh.
They didn't even put ribbons up for this boy at the entrance. Nothing. All that money in that community and nothing for that boy.
Nothing.
Sorry.
So you're mad because they didn't put ribbons on the entrance to the community. Well, Betty, you could have. You was there. Why didn't you put ribbons up? You want to brag about putting up posters? Betty, you didn't do that because you care about finding Sebastian. You didn't do that because you care about this case. You put your flyers in specific spots for a reason. And I was going to show that video of you doing it and explain it then, but we may not get to it today. You only put your flyers in the neighborhood and by the Proudfoots and the Bowersoxs. That's it. You were poking at them. You were wanting a response.
Nothing.
Nothing.
It made me sick. If you really want to know, and that's not just the Proudfoots. Let me just say that right now. So everybody in that community can hear my freaking message. Because that doesn't go to just Chris and Katie. That community appalled me.
Oh, they appalled you. Because nobody would talk to you. That's why, Betty. Nobody reputable other than Bobby. You can have her. But yeah, nobody would talk to you. That's what your real problem is. Your butt hurt because they wouldn't talk to you. But guess what? You just secured it that none of the decent ones will talk to you. So thank you for doing that.
Appalled me.
Appalled you.
I was offended.
You
Driving
was?
through that neighborhood.
No. Really?
You're the person with the gun. The person who would do anything to protect the ones you love.
Fitting
And did you know
commercial.
that you could go to jail simply
Oh, I'll say thank you, Southern Granny.
She is appalled.
I think Sebastian will be found a few days after Faith returns home, not necessarily in a good way. Interesting. Well, I know law enforcement has a lot more than they're telling us, and they're not utilizing it for one bit. I'm telling you, the shit that I found, if they have one half of that, they ain't doing their damn
Betty,
job.
you didn't find anything. Stop lying.
I'm just gonna tell you like that.
Stop misleading your audience. You were 4 months late, Betty, getting there, and you didn't find anything of value. Anything at all that could help anything other than your wallet. You went to be a crime tourist. And that's what you did. You weren't there to actually search.
And Nick Barris can tear me apart and say, armchair detectives. I really don't give a shit. I know what I know. I know what law enforcement has to know.
No,
and I have to
you don't know what they know. You don't even know what you know. We know that you don't know nothing, but you don't know that.
A reasonable person to think that they have a lot more information than I could ever acquire.
That wouldn't be hard because you don't acquire any factual information.
Here we are.
Here we are, nothing still, because you got nothing. I'll say it again. You were 4 months too fucking late.
Protest at the sheriff's office just for Sebastian Rogers. Not just them. I'm ready to go to the state attorney's office. Make his life. He's the decision maker.
Guys, do me a favor. Hit that like button so I can get this video in their algorithm. Sub up if you're not subbed up. I am so close to 2,500. Finally. Yeah. We also have poolside memberships. You can be a poolside misfit.
So is that law enforcement?
Hey, Dawn.
The DA can only do what law enforcement gives them. So, there may be something. Right? There may be something.
Mm-hmm.
But I think at this point, 5 months in, if I find out seriously there's no forensics done in that house, I think that should be absolutely 100% our next strategy. A protest at that sheriff's office. And finding out. And I will go through a deep dive. Actually, I need somebody that's in, you know what?
She's going to do a deep dive, but here she is asking people in her chat to do it for her. And that's why Betty's always so far off on anything she covers, because she doesn't do her own research. And she goes by whatever she's told. And she has no problem with these Facebook rumor groups, rumor mills. She is one of them. Huh.
Primecast, Mr. and Mrs. E. That might be something that you guys do.
So if she finds out. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Dawn. If she finds out that law enforcement didn't do forensics to suit her, she wants people to go picket the police station. Huh. Hey, Christina. Yeah, okay, Betty.
Records. I might have to help you guys with that because you guys are residents of that area. They try to block a lot of stuff unless I'm there in person. And that's on a good day. I can get some things, but they try to use we don't give people, I'm a taxpayer there. When I'm there in person, I'm a taxpayer there.
You are not, I told you, quit twisting it up. You are not a resident taxpayer, Betty. And that's what you need to be in Tennessee. You are not a resident taxpayer. You don't understand it, so you can't explain it to your audience. This shows you are far from any legal ease I've ever seen. It's common sense. You don't have any rights there as a resident taxpayer, Betty. You are a crime tourist. Tourist.
They can't deny me. But I think they have the rules.
Yes,
that it has
they
to be
can deny you. And they do all the time. And that's why you use other people to get your info.
President of the state. In Hawkins County, they still released us, so it's really...
You're not a resident of the state. You are not a resident taxpayer, Betty. Quit acting like because you pay sales tax, that makes you entitled to info. It does not. That does not make you a resident taxpayer.
They make it's at their discretion. So I know I could, but I know that I'm
No,
probably
you
not going to be
couldn't.
successful in Henderson because I haven't been successful with law enforcement or their whatever they call that thing going on there. So we'll see. And not only that, but I can absolutely tell that law enforcement has no idea what they're doing out there. I came in contact with law enforcement from Gallatin. I came in contact with Sumner County Sheriff's Department. I came in contact with several different law enforcement bodies in the Sumner County area. And I can tell you.
She talked to 2 police officers. Both she called. She called one to her hotel, and then she waved down the other police officer. That's it. That's all. And they have done their job. But of course, Betty is the legal ease, everybody.
That I was not really impressed with their performance.
Who cares what you're impressed with?
Well,
I've sped
it seemed
you
like
up.
a lot of people had to call people and ask questions because they didn't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's from Gallatin Police Department. I had I dealt with 2 different sheriffs there.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell you they were they didn't know what their job was. They didn't know how to do their job without calling for permission or calling and asking somebody. It was hard for me to deal with it, because I deal with law enforcement everywhere I go. So I can evaluate.
Well, Betty, we're all going to find out because several people have FOIA'd everything. So we're all going to find out the truth, Betty.
People that appear to know what the hell they're doing.
In other words, you mean because they didn't enact the law the way you interpret it, the way you think it should be done, they don't know what they're talking about because they were actually following the actual law. Your twisted interpretation, they're not going to use. And that's your problem. That's what you're mad about. Got it.
It seems to me that they just throw a lot of uniforms on people that meet
hey, Senrisa.
If you ask me. That's not who I'd like policing my community.
Well, thank goodness.
Just a thought, the shadow in the window, has anyone thought maybe it was one of the camps that come in? Well, see, this is the problem I have. The Proudfoots are adamant that nobody came in their house. The Proudfoots are adamant nobody could come in their house. The Proudfoots are absolutely adamant that the house was locked up. So, in my opinion, the only person that could have access to the house is somebody in the family. Whatever that means.
Not true. That's not true. That is totally not true. And, they're burglars for a reason, Betty. Because they know how to break into your house without you knowing. Also, how do you know Sebastian didn't open up the door and let somebody in? You just don't know. So that's not a true statement, Betty. In Betty's world,
yeah, don't forget to go out there and put a thumbs up for the show. Also, let us know what your number is. Let us know if this is Florida. And I mowed my yard before I left, and I came home, and my yard is overgrown. So I'm hoping the yard man comes by and needs money soon because I need my yard mowed.
Oh yeah,
so
get it, because code enforcement will be watching. They suck down here, and they'll get out and measure your damn grass with a tape measure. They sure will. I've seen them do it. They have no problem giving you a warning, and then you get a ticket if you don't cut your grass. They do not let it get. It's nuts.
We definitely have some issues over the Bowersoxs and some of the properties that Kathy sold, and it's kind of being
that has nothing to do with Sebastian being gone.
Involved in this case with those glasses that everybody says did not belong to Sebastian.
The glasses did not belong to Sebastian. They were not his. They were not even his prescription. Will you get off of it already? You're trying to talk Seth into believing those glasses were Sebastian's. I wonder who put the glasses there, honestly, because it's just awful convenient how they showed up. I don't know. I wouldn't doubt it if someone didn't conveniently just drop them right there.
It just makes me wonder. One of our other, I haven't had a chance.
Makes me wonder too, Betty, because I think that there's a possibility that someone dropped them there on purpose. I think they were a dollar store knockoff because you can go buy glasses with just over the counter prescriptions for reading and stuff. And I think someone was trying to do something to get law enforcement looking at the Bowersoxs, all because of they're idiots and hate, and also for attention, more attention. But I do think that somebody purposely dropped them. Just my opinion, though. This is all just my opinion. But it's convenient they looked like his, but they weren't his prescription, and they also didn't have his DNA on it. But anyway, okay.
Chance to read all of this. So I know that when Misty writes, she kind of breaks everything down. So I'm just going to read.
If this was the 1900s, Betty would spend most
this
of her
and see how you guys
life
all
in
think
the
about
local
it because,
asylum. Yeah.
It says, I believe the reason why Chris was at work early is because he wanted to establish an alibi for that time, because he knew what Katie and his parents were doing and when they were doing it. So he went to make sure he had an alibi. So he went to work early, 5:30, to prove there wasn't enough time for him to drive back to work from his home when all the flashlight activity was taken place.
Oh my God, again with the lights. I can't with the lights no more. You cannot make these people see anything. Betty is a tunnel rat. She's stuck in that tunnel. She can't rat her way out of it. There's nothing you could do. Like I told you, God himself could come down here and tell her, and she still wouldn't believe it. Yeah, just Summer. Oh, that's such a sad story.
Around.
That's such a sad story. That little girl, what a little angel.
Thank you so much to the Farmer's Dog for sponsoring today's video. As you saw, our food is delivered straight to our door.
Dog food commercial.
Looks like, in my opinion.
Didn't you say you was hungry, Betty? YouTube heard you. They gave you a commercial.
I don't know. His home, I think it was spelled wrong, at 10:30ish in the morning. I believe Terry was one of the folks with the flashlight, and Katie was the other person with the flashlight.
Oh my God.
And Kathy was the getaway driver. Chris was
okay, so let me see if we got this right. You refused to accept that they weren't flashlights. So we'll go with your thing. I mean, the alleged flashlights. So it was Terry and Katie in the backyard with the flashlights. And Kathy was the getaway driver. But that doesn't match up with what you said before. Because you said they parked the car and walked in the back with everything locked up, in the pitch black, walked through the little culvert, little ditch, which isn't that deep, by the way, Betty. I know you lied and said it was. You inflate things for your audience, we know. But anyway, it doesn't match up with what you said earlier, so you shouldn't be reading this because it contradicts what you say, Betty.
His time, biding his time, waiting for.
Biding his time.
Hold on here, I just got lost. Waiting for time for him
to
be seen at work at 5:30. The problem is nobody would have seen him hardly. He would have. That's the problem. I think that's what everybody. But you know what? The seat would have triggered. Maybe that's why he went up there to sleep. I don't know. I don't believe he was there. If he was there, people on the ground didn't know it. And then I believe that Chris retrieved Sebastian's remains from wherever Terry and Kathy put Sebastian that early morning during his 17-hour trip to supposedly go pick up and pack up the camper. I believe Chris was sure Sebastian wouldn't be found because there was no one to snitch on him because he hasn't told anyone the real location where he put Sebastian. I believe Katie planned all this, and now whether anyone else knows she planned it or not, I don't know. She may very well be lying to Chris, Kathy, and Terry and telling them it was an accident, but I still believe she gave Sebastian extra sleep medicine and possibly believed she gave Sebastian and possibly some other type of meds, and the meds took his life. Or she gave him extra SSLE sclero meds, maybe she meant sleep meds, and possibly another type of medication to give him hell of a groggy and make him pretty much unable to fight back. She made it where she could handle him without giving her any issues by not cooperating and physically fight her off of him. I think Katie did this to hurt Seth the best way she knew to hurt him.
Why are you reading something like this, Betty? Why would you put this kind of garbage out there? What is wrong with you? So Katie did all this with the Bowersoxs' help. Chris stayed at work to make it look like he had an alibi because, he was at work where he said how long he was. All to get back at Seth. She's not the one obsessed and stuck in the past. Seth is very much obsessed and stuck in the past. And I believe you should turn that statement towards him, because if anybody would do something to get even or get revenge, it's Seth. And I'm not talking about hurting Sebastian at all. I'm just talking about in general. Like to get revenge against her for the divorce and for, you all have heard him how many times. Jeez, I can't believe she's reading this stuff. I'm sorry, but I wouldn't be reading those emails out loud to people.
Him unalive and take his son away from him. I believe she was jealous of Sebastian's bond with Seth. Seth may have even verbally expressed his love for his dad.
Okay, no. I'm sorry, but I have watched all of them. I've watched what they've said. I've watched what has been posted. Yeah, I have no doubts that he loves his son. But I don't think the relationship was what you're trying to make it to be. Just saying. I mean, he's a teenager. They're not easy to deal with, and Anyway, he's a moody teenager. That's just my opinion, though. You can't sit there and tell me that Katie doesn't love her son. You can see it all over her face.
Dad was greater than his love for his mom. Him wanting to live with his dad over living with her. Those dates are extremely.
No, he didn't. Even she admitted he didn't want to go there. If anything, he was mad at her because he felt he was being forced to go. I don't believe that to be the case, since no final decision was made. And even Seth had admitted that it was talked about but never agreed upon. Why he took it upon himself to then tell everybody how he registered him in school and all this other stuff. None of that made sense. Number one, he's already in school. The school year is not over. You can't be registered. It's just, none of it made sense. There's just things that call into question that I don't see that being acceptable. He would have been registered in 2 different counties. Yeah, no. But anyway, it wasn't 100% agreed upon. So why Seth then jumped to all that, I don't know. Apparently he did talk to Sebastian, or someone did, one of them did, or they did, to let him know that Seth wanted to have him do homeschool, because he did get to visit him in the summer according to the visitation agreement. But as far as it being a permanent thing, my understanding is it was never 100% agreed upon. I don't know. And also that Sebastian wasn't happy about issues. But that's just my opinion, from what I can remember. I believe Sebastian was probably extremely stressed at the thought of living with Seth. Yeah. KP is military. She protects under oath. Wouldn't hurt him. Yeah. I don't believe she did anything to him either. Pulp Fiction speculation. Wow. Yep. Yeah, I do too, Running Bear.
Oh, damn coincidence. She pulled this shit 8 years to the day when she filed for divorce, and Seth and her married.
She has never mentioned that date or the divorce. Seth nonstop mentions that date and the divorce. So if you go by what we've seen on these YouTube streets, behaviors from the two parties involved, who is the one always talking about that date and the divorce? Who is the one that that date is so important to, that he's so obsessed with it? Is it number one, the mom? Or is it bachelor number two, the dad? Hey, Granny's watching. Yeah, he's the one that this whole thing really fits him. I'm wondering if someone actually wrote this to her, or if this is what she's saying and this is what she sent herself, or is it Seth and her or Tony? I don't know, but it's weird.
For 8 years, Seth was Sebastian's primary parent for the first 8 years of his life. I don't believe Katie ever bonded with Sebastian. I think exactly.
No, he wasn't the only parent for the first 8 years of his life. Okay, first off, they were separated for quite a while before the divorce was finalized because of Seth. Go to the documents. Secondly, he didn't raise him by himself. Katie was there. She was very much present. Katie was the one supporting the family and getting medical coverage so Sebastian could go to the doctors and get the treatments he deserved and needed. We've heard from a personal friend who was there at that time. Katie was very much present with Sebastian. Stop spinning that narrative. It's not the truth. It's not the truth. But I heard something. And since you like to talk about rumor, Betty, heck, I'll throw something out there. You think that Seth was the perfect dad and the perfect husband, which there is no such thing. By the way, there is no, I mean, in our eyes, yeah, our partners are perfect. But you know what I mean? There really, truly is no perfect. I don't want to be perfect. That would be fucking boring. But listen, I heard through the grapevine, and this was a long grapevine, but this grapevine probably has some receipts with it. But I heard through the grapevine that Seth used to work with that taco thing's wife, and he got let go because he couldn't keep his hands to himself. Allegedly. So is that why you and him, is that why you're so attracted to him? Because you two are a lot alike? You both put your hands on your spouse and your loved ones? I'm just asking. It's a legit question because evidently there's proof out there that both y'all did it. So it's just a legit question. Hey, Bllhornbetty. They sound so stupid. If Katie was absent for 8 years, then her getting primary is even more concerning. Yeah, exactly. She wasn't absent. And I don't believe Seth counts up to the date of divorce was final as them being married, but they had been separated. And she did not leave Seth for Chris. Look at the time, look at the dates, look at the time period. It just, he is so stuck. It's weird and concerning because no matter what he's done, he's not getting her back. This hate and revenge isn't pushing her back to him. It's pushing her further away to the point where there's no communication. It worries me with some of the things I've seen. I'll just leave it at that.
What you do when it comes to how she feels about Sebastian. I believe she blames Seth for Sebastian's disability. I believe she wants unmedically needy, unspecial needs child. Katie Proudfoot is an absolute heaven being with Faith for the summer, and I believe
You guys don't know this woman. Nowhere has she said any of that. And you could clearly see the woman was broken. She's broken. Her son is missing. You could see the love and the care on her face when she's talking about him. You can hear the pain in her voice. Are you kidding me? Why should she not treat that little girl good? That little girl didn't do nothing. You still gotta live. And why should that child suffer because you idiots think that she's not grieving enough? Who the hell are you to tell her how she should react or how she should live? You don't want no one telling you that, do you, Betty? So how are you okay to tell someone else?
I believe that Katie will and gas that Katie will.
If you've been waiting to apply for disability benefits, don't. Hi, I'm Sarah, and I'm a lawyer at Atticus.
Loud.
Applying.
Sorry, guys, that was loud.
And has been helping Chris fight for custody of Faith because she wanted to raise Faith.
Wait.
And has been helping Chris.
Who has?
Katie will. I believe that Katie will and gas that Katie will. And has been helping Chris fight for custody of Faith because she wanted to raise Faith. Katie wants a perfect normal child, aka not a defective child. And
okay, again, that's some bullshit. Okay, because number one, of course, Katie's going to support her husband when it comes to his child, just like Chris supports her when it comes to her child. But it doesn't matter what Katie thinks. The judge is going to look at the two biological parents and the situations with them. Katie's not going to be the reason, the sole reason, I should say, that Chris would get custody. There would be a reason that the judge would take custody away from the biological mother. If that were to happen.
And the defective child. This is how I feel Katie looks
hey,
at
voices.
Son. I know people try to take my words
and
manipulate them and twist them up and turn them as much as possible. But at the end of the day, when I'm saying stuff like that, I'm speaking as I think Katie feels about her son. I believe she looked at her son as if he was defective.
Doesn't it sound like it, Tiffany? It's me, Tiffany. Yeah, it does. And I'm wondering if it's really an email or just the notes on her phone. Exactly, Patricia. I mean, sorry, but that Nina should have never came to YouTube Streets. That was totally a total agenda there. That was just not the time, and really didn't belong on the YouTube Streets out in this public, in my opinion. And that's why I've never played that interview. I've never reviewed that interview.
I don't believe God makes mistakes. You know,
I knew it. When did they come back with it? I knew they were going to get a mistrial. Did they say what it was hung? What the vote was, voices? Well, we get to go through all this again. Because you know she's not going to make a plea deal. And they've been nonstop fundraising for her. So I'm sure the lawyers got their money to be, there's money to pay them. Because they've been nonstop fundraising. Damn. I feel bad for the taxpayers. That's another chunk of money.
years ago, I had talked to a lady, and she had a Down syndrome child, and this was the child was being born in the 70s. You know, kind of like me. I was born in the late 70s. But the doctors back then didn't know a whole lot about Down syndrome, and so the recommendation.
Betty, if you're 44, going to be 45, I was born in 63, Betty. I'm a good bit younger than you, so you would have had to have been born in, let's see, I'm about, what, 15 years older than you? Maybe more? Yeah. You might want to, never mind.
For parents at that time, and maybe some parents know this out of their own personal experience, was to.
Yeah, I'm a lot older than her. I'm 60. I'll be 61 in September. That's why I thought we were the same age, or around the same age when I first started reviewing her. I honestly was shocked. You know, I don't know. I don't know. Shocked me. So my guess is Betty maybe not be telling the truth about her birthday, because that would have made me 19 years old when she was born, and I wasn't 19 years older than her. So I'm starting to question Betty's birthday now. If she's 44, I thought she was going to be 45 this year. Okay, so she is 45? Okay. She was born in 78. I don't know. She looks older. She just does. So I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to shade her. You know, I don't like to shade no one's looks, but she just looks older. She really does. I think it's all the stress she puts on herself and puts herself through.
This lady absolutely thought that was absolutely appalling to terminate her pregnancy because of this Down syndrome. And then she even asked the doctors, is this lethal? Is this, they just didn't have a whole lot of information.
Why are you talking about this again? Don't your subs get tired of hearing the same regurgitated garbage out of your mouth 7, 8 times a day? This is at least the 5th time I've heard you tell this story.
For the better part, I don't think that they thought it was, something that was the child was going to lose their life in, like, say, the first 6 months or something like that. And so this lady was telling me that they wanted her to terminate her pregnancy, and she absolutely refused to do so. And she gave birth to her child, and she says that was the best gift that she ever got from God. Her child was the perfect baby, the sweetest, smart. And she keeps thinking how many parents lost that.
Hey, Ariana. I love that name. That's a beautiful name for a girl. Hey, I'm turning 45 January, so 79 makes sense to me. Okay. Yeah, I just question if that's even, I don't know. She looks older. I mean, I'm not tooting my own horn, but I think I look pretty good for being almost 61 when I throw on some makeup and do turn the camera on. Which, you know what? I'll do that tomorrow. I'll make sure. Oh, no, I got to go to Jacksonville tomorrow. I don't know. Maybe.
That right to that joy that she gets to have because they followed that advice. I don't know. I feel like she, at the end of the day, though, people love their children. I don't feel Katie truly loves her son. I don't think she ever knew.
You don't know Katie. You really don't know her to make that kind of a judgment, Betty. And if you really want to know the truth, if you really, with an open mind, watch the interviews she's done, I don't know how you can sit there and say that.
What being a parent is all about. I don't think she ever had the maternal instinct
Oh
because I think
my
it was stolen from
God.
her when she was a kid. I think her whole life of who she could have been, a normal, emotionally normal person, she just seems so cold, so cold.
Number one, you don't know nothing about her life growing up. You've ran with rumor. Factual wise, you don't know much. I couldn't believe anything that comes out. I'm sorry for saying this, but right now I couldn't believe anything Seth says. And would he twist things up to make it worse? Yeah. I don't know.
Wells Fargo has donated $60 million to advance homeownership in underserved communities.
Holy shit.
Getting back to this, where is it?
Betty, you're the only one that I reviewed that I get ads like this.
She gave birth to. Katie is sick-ish, and she is dangerous. I do believe she's dangerous, and I believe she can be a danger to anybody.
You believe, what has Katie done to exhibit any behaviors that would make you think she's dangerous and dangerous to children? Please tell us, enlighten us, show us, because you said you believe that as well. Where did you see anything that shows that behavior?
To KILL. I believe she and Chris are two peas in a pod. Chris is one sick-ish too, but Katie carried Sebastian for months. Ellie, how long? She gave birth to him, and then soon after, she ran away from Sebastian and let Seth deal with the special needy Sebastian. Katie allowed and probably encouraged Chris to use corporal punishment on
Without
Sebastian.
screaming apologies. I know I bring it up a lot, but it is new to me, this being able to function without screaming apologies. Yeah, I'm sure these streets can be crazy.
Sorry, not sorry. Katie is a monster. She didn't fall far from the tree.
Oh, that's sweet, Ariana. That means you got good skin.
I would be surprised if Katie didn't. That's been brought up. That's been brought up. I don't want to say that just yet, but that has been brought up, Misty. So thank you for that. Again, very interesting perspective. And
no, there was nothing interesting from it. It's stuff that you've been planting in your chat's heads for the last 2 months, last month, ever since your interview. So yeah, I know. And it just shows that she's as whacked as you are.
And a lot of it, a lot of that perspective. I'm still bouncing around with some of the theories because it's not clear,
It's not.
If Chris was up in that, and you know what? To be honest with you, I don't think he was. I don't think he was.
Okay.
I really don't.
Okay.
I don't think it was. I think somebody spread that rumor to help him out with his timeline. Make it appear, because some people on these streets do that.
They do
everything to help the criminal. We talked about that a lot. There are certain channels that criminals run to just because they're bully and hate channels, and they think that they can use their platforms to intimidate people.
Really?
To help the criminal. So that's why they gravitate to those channels. This is the situation. But do I think he was there at 5:15?
Well, no. You don't?
I don't.
No?
I don't think he tried to cover his alibi. I think somebody spread that rumor out to help him.
So even though he didn't need an alibi, because he already had one, because he was at work, you think someone just went and spread that rumor to give him an alibi that he didn't need because he was already at work? Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, Betty. That sure makes a lot. That you hit the nail on the head. You really did. Yeah, you really, really did. And what do you mean by hate channel, Betty? I don't hate you. I will not give you that much of my time or energy. I do not hate you. I actually have fun reviewing your ass sometimes. Sometimes I can really get some good laughs. And other times, not so much. But yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
That's what I truly believe. I think it would have been very noticeable for the people on the ground if some crane operator shows up hours before his job and climbs up the crane in the middle of the dark.
Hey, Darby.
I think it would be very noticeable. Because it's not really dark. I mean, it's not pitch black. You guys saw it at 5:30. It was pretty light. And they said that was.
Oh, the runway truth. I'm sorry to hear you're having problems. Oh, we're going to send you all kind of good healing vibes and lots of healing prayers. Everybody is.
Or daylight savings time that came in. So I don't know. It could have been pitch black out. Oh, actually, I think it was before daylight savings time. So.
Betty, now you're backtracking on that. Because I went over the live where you said, it's not pitch black in that neighborhood. It's not dark. I could see everything. Now you're backpedaling on that. Now you're saying different. Betty, it was dark. Point blank. As simple as can be, it was freaking dark. Can you imagine that? This is what you do. How do people not pick up on it that watch you? I'm dumbfounded on how people don't see through you. My take on you, Betty, is you've always been the one in the family or the one in the group that because somebody else did it, you had to do it. Only you always got to take the shortcut and try to do it without the work. And you fell at it often. I.e., you go into paralegal school because of your mom's job. You often claim her working experiences as your own. Then, that didn't work. Your sister becomes a news anchor. Became a legit, part of the media. It was before she got the news anchor job as well. So then you decided you were going to be this local political activist. That didn't go nowhere. You ended up threatening the councilman and threatened to burn his house down. Then you went after a local real reporter because she called you out for it. So yeah, so you wanted to be the media. It's like you can't be happy for someone that they are succeeding at what they want or at their career choice. You try to, in a sense, steal everybody's life as your own. Hasn't worked out very good for you, has it, Betty? I mean, this is just my opinion. But stop trying to be everybody else's life and just do you. Be you. After you take a mental health break.
So it would have been, because daylight savings time goes forward an hour, so it gives you the extra.
Yeah, I tried to tell you that. Go back and watch my live when she was down there complaining and saying about the time change and stuff, or saying about the darkness and how Chris wasn't at work and blah, blah, blah. I tried to tell her you're 4.5 months late. Different season, different time, different phases of the construction site. But yeah.
So I think it would have been much darker.
No shit.
Or does it roll back? I think it rolls forward for daylight savings. I think it rolls forward for daylight
savings. I'm not going to tell you.
It rolls forward for daylight savings. And in my opinion, you're right track of Gallatin or White House. I think he will be found come hunting season when the hunters come out. I don't know because 17 hours. I believe this child may not be. I don't know.
Why are you trying to act like you don't want to say it when you've said it how many times? You've said it a gazillion times already. In fact, you've outright said that Katie and Chris and the Bowersoxs, you've accused them all of doing it. So why won't you say it now? Does that tell you to quit saying it? Not because it bothered him, but because he was getting so much heat for it? Or is it because you were the butt of their jokes the other night on Brittanyj's panel? Because there for a minute, Betty, you were the butt of their jokes. Just so you know. They weren't praising you, honey. They were laughing at you.
So, I mean, we don't even want to think about that. I would like to find out that he's at a school or something like that, or was taken to a church.
No, you wouldn't.
Or something.
No,
right?
you wouldn't.
That's what we'd all. Look at this dog.
No, you wouldn't. So far she seems to really, and I know it's only been 24 hours, but she seems to really have some soft feels for this dog. So who knows? Maybe it'll be good, and the dog will be just as complaining and as ornery and as drama queen as its owner. But maybe she'll take it. She'll be good to it. I have hope. Probably not, huh? Hey, Hensley. How are you? That puppy is so cute. Oh my gosh.
She was
But
out.
that is no full-blooded Chihuahua. No, that is not a full-blooded Chihuahua. Not the Chihuahuas I've seen and know. Is there more kinds? I don't know much about Chihuahuas. Is there more kinds? It may have some Chihuahua in it. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be I don't know. It is cute though and tiny. Oh, Betty, please be good to that puppy. Please be good to that puppy. That little thing just wants someone to love on it and play with her. And just be good to her.
Oh, and I turned this and she fell out of the bed. She's so goofy. You're so goofy. For those that haven't met her, this is our beautiful Delilah. She is now our official. Look how tiny she is. She's just a little tiny thing. Look at that.
Yeah, she's not going to be a big dog. She's going to be a tiny lap dog. She's going to be small. But I don't believe she's full-blooded Chi either. She could be, have a small bird Chi in her. But she's not going to be a big dog. But those paws are definitely not Chihuahua paws. But it seems like you like to copy certain creators, Betty. I mean, it really does. Because now you got a dog mascot. I mean, she's cute as a button, Betty. But it doesn't excuse from your... It's not enough to hide your ugliness, if you know what I mean. The doggy's cute and all, but for a minute, because then the ugliness comes out. Yeah. So, yeah. But why you copy everybody? Do you ever have an original idea? You copy everybody. You copy the way creators talk. You copy their words, their content, which is fine. I mean, we all use everybody's content, but you act like people steal yours. It's not even your content to begin with, because you get it from others, just like all of us do. You're not the one out here breaking these stories or on the news, sitting behind the news anchor chair, where your sis sits, that you're so jealous over. God, are you jealous about that? But you're not there actually reporting the stories or being on scene as the real media. So yeah, there's that.
Funny how she was half out of the bed and half, and she was just sleeping. All right, go back to bed.
Yeah. Hey, Raz, it's a coffee of a couple people. Queen has a dog mascot for the Hive, for the channel. She always has. They've always talked about the puppies, but you're right. I don't watch Ziggy a lot, but I do know I've heard about that. Oh, really, Wise Angel? Oh, interesting. So you have little dogs like that. I love most dogs. There are Chi mixes that I am not fond of. They don't stay cute either. I think she will be 15 pounds. That's big when I have a 4.5 pounder. Oh, I've wanted a lab baby for years and years. And then after we lost Leo, which was our black lab, he was the last connection we had to our son. Our son rescued Leo and his brother from death, literal death. I'm not kidding you. So he took his brother Rocky, and I had just lost Samson like a year or two before that, and I had him forever. That was my baby. And I didn't want another dog, but my son brought him home, and he was just a puppy, and they were going to murmur him because they couldn't find a home for him, and these people had already murmured 2 of them. So, yeah, I took him. But we lost him, and I just wasn't going to, that was the last, like, physical connection. Weird, but it was like a physical connection to my son because he gave us, he's the one that brought us Leo. And Leo's brother Rocky died, but so Leo was it. And when Leo died, I didn't want another dog. And then I said, if I get one, it's going to finally, after all these years, be my little tiny lap dog. Yeah, no, that didn't happen. I ended up getting another dog. I ended up rescuing another dog so he didn't get put to sleep because he's a pit bull. They would have put them down. They don't keep them long. And he's 78 pounds. Yeah, but he thinks he's a lap baby. He just doesn't get that he's bigger than me. He's not a lap baby, but yeah. One day, I'm getting up there in years. It better be quick.
There she is. Now she's comfy. She's comfy. She's a little camera shy. She's been rambunctious this morning. Where was I? Sorry, I didn't mean to just pause, but she was just doing some cute little stuff.
And I know, Betty, you're in the honeymoon phase with the new puppy. You're only 24 hours in. But I do see a little bit of a glow when you talk about the puppy. I just hope it stays that way. But you should try pads since you're puppy training, because puppies will go first thing and you got to give them a minute, and sometimes they'll go in the middle of the night. So maybe you should put pads down. People used to use newspaper, but I wouldn't because the ink's so bad on the newspapers anymore. I wouldn't bother. But yeah, you could get a couple throwaway pads and use them, Just saying.
Autistic kids can be really challenging. I used to be a nurse in an yeah, and that's the problem. We know that the challenges, well, I don't personally know, but I can tell you, I read a lot of emails from parents that have had children from nonverbal to.
That's sad. Your beagle passed away. Oh, they gave you a beagle puppy. Oh, that's so sweet. Yes, you know what? I'm glad I took Bubba because little did I know, I missed having a dog. I really missed having a dog. And Bubba's a lot of work. He wasn't treated well. He was very abused. And he can't be around other dogs. And he's got severe storm anxiety. We fought heartworm. We fought a couple things. But I missed having a dog. So I'm always thankful I got Bubba. And besides that, he's had a decent, a good life. Finally, like he deserved from the get-go. Because no animal asked to be here. And they don't have a choice. They don't get a choice. And no animal should ever be abused.
Really functioning. A lot of the stories are similar. A lot of the stories are different.
Milo sits on my lap. Aww.
I do understand how difficult it is for parents. And
he jumps in your son's arms. Oh, that's so sweet. My husband says we can't get any more doggies. I'm trying to wear him down. I'll have to get a small dog if I get one. You'll win. To say a puppy mysteriously showed up on your doorstep. It was out there in a paper bag. Not even in a box. The people were so cheap and lazy. Yeah, lay it on. I've done that. I said, I don't know where it came from. It was just on the porch.
They just deal with it. This is life. This is life for them. And they love their children that much to deal with them. And so they really, the therapy is very therapeutic for these kids. And, especially controlling, helping them learn to, control some of their.
Betty, you have no idea about any therapies for anybody. Stop it. You don't even, you are one of the people that's against a lot of the stuff that is out there now for kids and adults. You don't believe in none of that stuff. Stop it. And you don't have a clue what you're talking about. Because you know that I know that you know that we all know you didn't do no real research. But okay.
Impulses that are uncontrolled, such as their outbursts and things like that, and what triggers them and what helps them out.
You was Kathy V for years? No way. Lots of laughs. Luckily, I do. That's wild. What's weird is I just met a TikTok creator who's also on YouTube. She's trying. We don't even live but 30 minutes from each other. Pretty wild. What a small world. Kathy P's it, man. Kathy's rule. They rule. Called you Snow White as stray cats and dogs were turning up at my door. Only the 7 little fellas didn't. What is that? What is a Rosidian Ridgeback / boxer? I know what a boxer is, but what's a ringback? It's a stunning dog. Oh, I bet. Okay, Shorty. Thank you. Thank you for still hanging in listening. Hey, Ryan. Yeah, I would have me a little lap dog. I'd have rescued one by now. But I can't have a dog around another dog with Bubba. The cat is not a problem. Rescued him, but it's not the same as having that little lap dog I've always wanted. I have a lap dog. He's just not little. I can't carry his 78-pound ass around. He can carry me around. He's pretty, though. He's got really pretty markings. He's a Brindle Pit. He's on my channel. He's on my short. I did a short of him chilling out on his recliner, his lounge by the pool. He has this Chase lounge by the pool that he reclines in all the time.
And so one of the things is from all the parents is you just have to really remain calm. And I think we learned that from Seth, with the whole, tornado coming out of the sea.
Seth taught us how to be calm? What? He's calm? Huh? Okay.
Where he described, I said, wow, I would have thought Sebastian would have had a meltdown with that. And he goes, there would have been no reason because I kept calm.
Oh, okay.
And if he's not seeing that I'm upset or, this is okay, then he's not getting triggered. So, and that's one of the things that the parents have taught me is about
super soft bras made for seniors by a 70-year-old woman. Soft, wide straps.
Wow.
You gotta be, just
look,
calm.
I don't know these people. I only know what I have witnessed with my own eyes and heard with my own ears. I just don't think the understanding was where Seth thinks it was with him and his son. I just don't think it was I just don't think I just don't think the relationship is what you get me, right? Gosh, I hate to say that, but it's the truth. I feel for him because he has a missing child. But it's really hard to it's just hard. It's hard.
No matter what, just remain calm.
Oh, so then what's he doing around you? When do you ever remain calm?
It's just very hard for us to wrap our heads around how Katie and Chris can be so callous. And I think that is the
how are they being callous?
Their behavior. It just doesn't appear. They just appear to be cold. If it's not on the building site, Yogi Bear campsite areas, look there. Yes, we are. Thank you, Monica. We are going to be looking at the area that I
want to fast forward.
It's calling my name. I said it's calling my name. I said it was calling my name.
Oh, that's the wooded area.
It's calling my name.
At the Bowersoxs house, that's where she wants to go back and search. It's so important to her and calling her name that she didn't go back. Now, she was supposed to go back to Tennessee Instead, which I said that day, she said, I'm going to go, she was going back to go to do a few things yet. I said that day she wasn't going nowhere. She was going to go home after Virginia. She went there for the Trump rally. She got everybody to pay for her to ride around and be a crime tourist and spread more disinformation, harass and stalk and threaten people. She got that paid for, and got her Trump rally paid for as well. She had no intentions on going back to Tennessee from the get-go. I said that out the gate. Sometimes, Betty, I think I know a little bit more about your patterns than you do, and that's why I'm taking a break from you. But if you're not doing no shit, I don't watch you. I only watch you when you're acting a fool. Other than that, nope, don't care.
I said it's calling my name. I said it was calling my name since.
So she's going to go back there now or in August, okay? That's more time away. It's already been 5 months. So that'll be what? Going into the 7th month when she gets there? What's the point? If it was almighty important and she knows for a fact that she should. And now, mind you, all this area has already been searched and searched and searched. Even Seth has told her it's been searched and searched and searched. Because she repeated what Seth told her. It's that important and it's bothering her that much. She didn't go back and search it or ask anyone else of her little group. That crazy Terry Lynn. Or even Seth. Why isn't he listening to her since she knows so much and she's so good? Why is he not going there and searching? Questions.
I located it, and that was that area all around the Bowersoxs property.
Yep.
This is where my issue comes in because they left 2 days after Sebastian disappeared. We all kind of came unglued about it. We're like, wow, that's really weird. They passed it off.
Told you all when she was in her car and she said that it was screaming at her. It was yelling at her, that wooded area. And then she quickly flip-flopped and moved on and said, but that was already searched. Because Seth had told her several times it was already heavily searched. Yeah, I knew I said she wasn't going to drop it, that's going to be her next focal point. And it is. And here we are.
This is just work. Terry had to go to work. He had to go to work in Alaska. And then we coupled that with Chris leaving to go pick up the camper and having 17 hours. And me, I'm looking for comfortable places that Chris would be able to do stuff in a comfortable environment. And I'm thinking there's an empty house with a whole bunch of trees and a huge plot of just areas that go for miles, right? Just right behind and to the side of the Bowersoxs home. And that's when I looked at it. And I remember sending that over to Seth, and he said his people were in there. They've had, even the pond was searched in there. He's had, but I looked at that property, and I don't know if they would have had the manpower to do that whole entire area. I mean, Chris could have literally got in his.
It was heavily searched, Betty, and the pond was searched, Betty, by searchers, real searchers.
Car and drove the power lines all the way down for miles. For miles. And so I'm looking at it like, this is it. He had that house empty. His mom and his stepdad weren't there. They have plausible deniability. They didn't know what went on. And he's got an exit strategy right out of the backyard. It's a little hard for me to discredit that area. And I don't care how many people searched it. It's
don't you think that law enforcement would have had Chris on camera somewhere going to or leaving that area, Betty? Just a question. So you're saying that what he did to Sebastian, he did in the Bowersoxs home. And remember when you said he put a freezer or a refrigerator? Yeah. But then he disposed of whatever he did do somewhere in the wooded area around their home. But nobody's seen him going or coming from that home. Wow. And he also was in another state at the time, in a whole nother town. Yeah. That might factor into that a little bit, Betty.
still it's still to me a winner chicken dinner.
Oh my
I believe it's out there.
God.
Rodney from Australia, the stepbrother, also
Look at
thinks
her.
he's
Look at she's
capable
drooling.
and has a bad history. Yeah. I hope he's out of the trouble camp or school or something that's protects him. But you would think they would have already reached out to media if exactly. And not only that, criminal, we're working on trying to get people to call into the autism centers and just have them look at Sebastian's face. And if they happen to have somebody that meets that description in their care, to reach out to TBI. But unfortunately, was he verbal? Yes. KJR, he was verbal. He was actually a highly functioning autistic boy. So from my understanding, he was performing in the proper grade level for him, which was really weird because we got mixed information from Katie. Basically saying that he...
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Not at all. It's how you took the information, how you twisted what she said up. They always said he was high functioning.
You know, he's 15-year-old, but he acts much younger than his age. And it's like, you know, when we hear stuff like that, we're thinking that it's like a 6-year-old trapped in a 15-year-old body, you know? When we hear language, that's what we you know, that's what our brains think. And then we find out that he's performing with his grade level. It's like, you know, we were so confused about who Sebastian was.
No, you weren't. You didn't listen to what the primary caregiver was saying about him. You didn't care, Betty. You're a tunnel rat. You can't get out of the tunnel. You cannot actually hear and take in what the Proudfoot say. Because you are so hell-bent on everything and every word that Seth says. You don't hear nothing else. But listen to what Seth says. He's the one who has said a lot of things. Listen. He has said himself he was 15, but at a 10-year-old level. He's made several different kinds of comments like that. Listen to what is being said.
At the beginning, and it was because of the way Chris and Katie described him to us.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah, she said he was highly functioning, but you know, for the majority of the people out here, we don't know what that truly means. You know,
what does maybe do your research about autism? Maybe look up highly functioning, you know, the definition. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, Betty. Jeez. You people like you, twisted their words up. You all started all this stuff with his ability level. They've never. Oh, I can't. Oh, no? I can't.
And so when we're listening to them talk and her talking about how he's, you know, he acts much younger than his age, you know, because he's got these, you know, goes through his stuff. I mean, you're thinking that he probably isn't performing with his class. He's probably either in a slow learning disability type of class, or he is.
Betty, just because he had kid-like behaviors at times doesn't mean he wasn't functioning at his grade level. You people twisted all this stuff up.
A slow learning disability type of class, or he's just in a much younger class or something like that, you know, that fits his
exactly, Purple Haze, exactly
his age, you know, not his age, but his, I don't know. You guys know what I'm trying to say.
No, because you don't even know what you're trying to say. Because you didn't bother to do no real research, Betty. You go by whatever anybody tells you. You are not spending hours and hours and hours deep diving research, Betty. You're going around watching all the hate channels, as you call us. Because, dear God, you even try to talk like some of us. Stop it. You didn't bother to look up anything about autism other than the big bold print.
Words aren't coming out right. I don't know. I can't express it any better than that. So
Runes loads a complete serving of fruits, veggies, adaptogens, vitamins, minerals, super mushrooms, prebiotics.
Gypsy, it's nice to see you. I have Seth's first interview clip that he says Ellie had dogs in and out of the house. Chris was at work all week. Dogs hit and looked like he went in a car. They took their phones. And
I thought you already did that.
CP and CP did hang flyers and lawn signs. They did have lawn signs. They went out one day with Seth until it seemed like it was just him and Chris.
You better not make it. Don't make a mess.
I don't know.
Okay, I love you, but don't make a mess.
I don't know about hanging flyers, but I do know that Chris and Seth had said that Chris went out with him at least one time to search. But basically, when this is the issue. Chris wanted it to stay.
That's not what I heard. I'll have to go back and play it if I can remember which time he said it. But I thought it was for the first couple of days they went out together. And then law enforcement asked them to stop. And Chris listened to law enforcement. But you know what? I'm going to say it. Piss on it. Piss on it. Seth wasn't out there doing all that much searching either. He was out there when it was convenient to be recorded or streamed by JLR. That little love bromance didn't last long, as none of anybody being involved lasts long. Anyway, law enforcement did not want them out there physically searching. For good reason. But Seth still acted like he was out there night and day. And that's not the truth. That's not at all the truth.
Make sure, like literally hours when news crews were showing up to your house.
Exactly,
he wanted
Brandon.
to make sure that he was doing damage control the entire time. He wanted to make sure that the cameras weren't focusing on his house. He wanted to make sure him and his family had no attachment to this missing kid in the eyes of media. They didn't want to come out and say that it was their kid. They didn't want anybody knowing that this child disappeared from their home. He wanted to contain. And that's when he had.
What? He wanted. Betty. There was nothing contained about it. Everybody knew. What is she talking about? What the hell?
Had been trying to do until social media got involved. And when social media got.
No, law enforcement already knew where he was and where it all happened. Nothing was being contained or hidden, Betty. Stop lying to your audience. Stop manipulating them and trying to convince them of your off-the-wall theories.
Involved, this case went viral. And now social media is involved in this case, and media says.
Well, I don't know if you'd call it viral. But yeah, and you had nothing to do with the media picking this up in the first place, Betty. You jumped on it long after the fact, as usual, but claimed it was because of your coverage. No, you were a big part after the fact of all the drama and misinformation. That's all you can pat yourself on the back for. Because, my dear, you are a drama channel. You are not a true crime channel. Therefore, drama and true crime equals crama. You're welcome.
Don't want anything to do with this case. Why? Because it's a crazy case. Because news aren't advocates, okay? They don't really give a shit about what happens to these cases. I have not found a news organization that really gives a damn about the cases.
I don't remember, Hope. I'm going to look that up because she's constantly talking about it. But according to her, it took him 17 hours to go pick up the camper and come back home. And I am going to dig into that and see what I can find. I want to know where that all started and what the proof, what is really behind all that. Because it just doesn't add up, what she's saying. Yeah, contained. I don't know how you contain this, but contained. Ellie will always tell the family and loved ones not to go out searching and to allow Ellie to do what they do best. Yes. And Chris has said that. And Chris said as he's allowed to speak on things, he will put it out. And he's done that. As they were allowed to release certain things, little tidbits of information, he would. That's where Betty and that dumbass Brittanyj, God, that girl's so stupid. She is such, I can't with that one. She acts like she's done nothing to no one. Sorry, I'll put my lighter down. Oh, ow. She acts like she's the 100% the victim, and she's done nothing. But Brittany's done a lot. And a lot of behind the scenes shit that she denies. But Brittany has done a lot. And, I'm going to do a deep dive on Miss Brittany. Because I am sick of her playing the perpetual victim. I don't care. I'm glad she makes money on here. My issue is how she does it. The lying, the grifting off these cases. And nothing but drama. She is not a true crime channel either. She's a wannabe, but she is not a true crime channel. She is a drama channel all the way around.
I've never met one. Still looking, but haven't met one. We take these cases, we run with these types of cases. We make sure we're holding people accountable and law enforcement's feet to the fire because we have that power and we have the numbers to do that.
But I'm going to go back and I'm going to show exactly as far back as I can find out, because I need proof. I have to have receipts like I've done before when I did them on John Yates and LB and stuff. I need receipts to, but as far back as I can go and get receipts, I'm going to show people just some of the antics that little Miss, I'm so innocent and naive, the perpetual victim has been involved in.
And this is for the true crime genre in and all of its own right, not the Bullhornbetty channel. I want to make sure that it's clear. But we have the ability to make sure law enforcement are doing what they're doing. We're not stepping up to the plate.
Okay.
That's the problem.
Okay.
Social media is not stepping up to the plate. Right now,
They're
you would
not?
have, like, the docket would be, up the crawl of Sumner County pulling every type of public record request imaginable just to be the boil on the butt of them, to get some information and find out what's going on.
That's not how you do things, Betty. That's why you don't get anything. That's why you are not respected nor thought of highly in any kind of community. That's just not how you do things, Betty. And that's why you often fall flat.
Yeah. We have everything is really messed up with this case. And the only person that's suffering for that is Sebastian and finding his whereabouts so we can have resolution, so we can move on. There's other cases out there that many of us, need to cover, but we have this case right now.
No,
right
you don't, Betty. It's not your job. You're not law enforcement or an investigative reporter. You don't have to talk about it 10 times a day. Upload 7 or 8 lives a day. No, you do not. That is a choice you're making. Talk about other cases. Do your thing. No one's stopping you but you. This is your current grift. This is your current cash cow. That's why you're not stopping. And also, for the first time in your miserable little life, you've got a parent 100% on board with you.
That needs resolution. We have a father that needs answers.
Mm-hmm. We have a mother and a stepfather that need answers as well. Yeah, Betty, there's other people too that need answers.
Son in the care of his ex-wife and her husband.
Mm-hmm.
Her
husband wasn't there. He was at work. But yeah, so he's a 15-year-old who wandered off. What are you going to do? I mean, really, what are you going to do, Betty? How are you going to prove otherwise? Please let us know, because, law enforcement don't want you, though. I'd say they'd hire you, but they don't want you. But yeah, how about put some facts, put some evidence behind that big trap of yours and show us how anything different happened.
So it sucks. It sucks. It's called a spectrum for a reason.
It's not easy to move a camper, especially when you've been living in. You got to empty your tanks. You got to there's a lot involved. It's not like a 5-minute procedure, you know. And they had a fifth wheel, right? So yeah.
And one child finds
it's not like you just back up, hook up the trailer hitch, and take off. It doesn't work that way. But in Betty's mind, it does.
Another won't. My son, it's random and often surprises what. Yeah, exactly. But for him, it sounds like the parents had a good understanding for him. It sounded like.
Do you know the U.S. solar company's nasty little secret? It turns out if you live in Florida, they have to give you solar.
According to Seth, that particular day was a little much. And that's his father. And I would say he would probably know more than anybody. Autism can be very challenging at times, especially during puberty, but can be the most rewarding too. Love them, treat them with respect and dignity. If your child has autism or not, they still are your child. Exactly. Couldn't said it better myself, Audrey. Thank you for that. It was said they didn't even know where he was autistic until he was 14, which was only a year ago. That is correct, Gwen. Because of his other disabilities, if you read, especially with his chromosome deletion syndrome, it's harder to find the underlying autism with that particular. I was reading a lot about it because I didn't quite understand the chromosome deletion syndrome, but I did do some work on it, and I did find out that is common. Actually, it's not his illness is uncommon, right? His specific chromosome deletion is uncommon, but with the chromosome deletion, there's multiple variations of that. It is common to misdiagnose autism as well because of it. And I think that might have been what the situation was, is that he was misdiagnosed or only diagnosed with that because a lot of the autistic traits, from my understanding, and the chromosome deletion syndrome do have some possible similarities or similar behaviors, which is what masks that. So that was, but again, that's my understanding of what I've read. And it sounds like that. Now, people have to understand, this is one of the reasons why Seth was really angry, especially in California. A lot of people wanted to dog
I
him
keep
and say,
clicking this later. I'm sorry.
And all this other stuff. If you
one
guys
more
listen
time,
to
and
his story,
I'll put it away.
Because he felt like they weren't
there, I put it away.
him properly. They weren't giving him the proper therapy.
I can't click it no more. I put it away.
He needed. They were treating him like he was not, he couldn't perform. They were trying to teach this boy how to write an S when he knew the alphabet. You see what I'm saying? So
no, I don't. No, Betty, what you're saying doesn't make a bit of sense. You're so full of shit. Who do you think's the one that got Sebastian what he needed? Who do you think was doing that? His mother. Who do you think fought to keep him mainstreamed? His mother. Who do you think did homework with him? He was doing fine under her roof, under her care, Betty. And he loved going to school. Seth wanted to take that away from him. And that's all the kid would understand, because he's 15, is that he's just trying to take that away from him. For him to be mainstream and be functioning the way he was, whatever, shows that he was in a loving home with a mom who cared. Like I said, you can't see anything. It wouldn't matter if God himself told you.
Knew that his son might have had other issues undiagnosed, and why he was fighting so hard to have his son.
He wasn't fighting so. Oh my God. Oh my God. I can't. I can't.
with proper care and proper education. That's been one of his biggest drumbeats, is the proper care and proper education. If you guys recall, he doesn't like the pharmaceutical route. You know, he wants, if there's a
and you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. However, there is a time when you have to accept that you do need medical intervention. And I don't believe, oh my God. And you just sat here yourself and said that he was doing good in school and everything. So why take it away? If he was doing so good, why was Seth trying to take it all away? And unfortunately, with chromosome deletions, your all natural stuff just isn't going to cut it.
Oh. Naturally, with natural remedies or over-the-counter, he would prefer that as opposed to having narcotics in his, or other substances in his son's system. So, I mean, you can tell that he really does care about that. So,
why did you say narcotics, Betty? That boy's not on narcotics. Stop it. You put that out on purpose. There's medications due to his chromosome deletions that he would be on or may need to be on. There's nothing natural going to help with that stuff, Betty. There's nothing wrong with wanting to do the natural thing. I do it as much as I can too. But there are times when you just have to deal with it and you have to use modern medicine, Betty.
Could have been misdiagnosed, but it could also explain why he was so disgruntled with doctors.
Yeah, he did, Purple Haze. He sure did.
His teacher said that he was so high functioning that you wouldn't know he had autism. There you go.
Okay, Rise Angel. Thank you for joining me. Appreciate you.
Mr. E Crimecast, you guys got that. So it was just really weird that Katie
Seth
would
even
talk
refused to give Sebastian his prescribed medications. That right there is child neglect and process that Sebastian doesn't need to live with Seth. Yeah, you can't. If he really needs that medication, withholding it could be very detrimental to the child, and that's
at the beginning. And
he's non-pharmaceutical route for Sebastian, but not himself. Yeah, and that's something, and that's
son as being highly functioning, but he's 15 but acts younger. I mean, when we think of that, we think of major.
No, it doesn't mean major disabilities. It does not mean major disabilities, Betty. That's because your mind only goes to the worst of the worst scenarios. Always. Always.
Cognitive disability. And that, I think, was intentional. Now that we were learning about Sebastian, I mean, I could hear some things when he talked about Melissa several years ago, is the way he said it.
You're not learning about Sebastian now. You're learning about Sebastian when he was a very, very small child. That's just it. He's not. Betty, how are you not seeing it that the last 8 years of that boy's life, he doesn't talk much about? Everything he tells everybody about is way before that. That boy's changed a lot from the time he was 3, 4, 5 years old to a 15-year-old.
In fairness, it could have been from the voice, because guys have voice changes where they're going from like a young voice into their man voice, and that could have been what I heard, instead of, because it didn't sound right. Like, you could tell he had some, like, with the music and everything, it sounded like he had a weird speech pattern. But again, it was such a split second. I don't know. Whoop, sorry.
Yeah, you don't know. So why are you sitting there running your mouth about it?
My legs. So that's about it. You don't want to say hi to anybody?
No.
I saw some things down here. Gypsy says, I can send it to you if you'd like. On my side, not abrasive. You can send it to Bullhornbetty@gmail.com. Oh, Sylvia. Exactly. That's what I understood when I was reading it, because I remember I even showed a video, and I think even the doctor explained how it's hard to decipher. It was that board. Remember, I told you we're going through the education. We've been talking about this case, and I know this is going to be the most boring video, but we needed to have the education, and it was talking about the Sebastian's brain and stuff like that.
No, it wasn't talking about Sebastian's brain. It was talking about a brain. because everybody's different, Betty. It wasn't, you can't say that any of that stuff had anything to do with Sebastian, because I can tell you now that autism is different for everybody. I know several people that have autistic children, and I know several autistic adults, and they're all different, Betty. Nobody's the same. Oh my God, I can't.
Like, I can't believe you said that, but they don't have thumbnails. Like, good gracious, go find something to be offended by. I swear. So
you mean your clickbaity thumbnails, Betty? You clickbait the hell out of people because you're a fraud and a liar. And that's my opinion.
Not going to change what I do. It's not going to change. I don't get offended. People don't offend me, okay? It's like if you're appalled by my behavior, then don't watch. It's a very simple solution to your problem, okay? But when you start making your problem my problem, I'll just go full force. I am stubborn. You're not going to tell me what to do. You're not going to intimidate me, and I will go full force. I will show you you're not going to do it, and I will make sure it's public so everybody can see you can't do it. I will put you in your place publicly, lawfully, and legally, and without the use of any type of violence.
No, you don't. You don't do it legally nor lawful. You do threaten violence. You lie. And you lie, and you lie some more. Nothing's ever factual with you, Betty. You don't put nobody in their place. Stop it.
Same. Nor do I have to threaten violence.
But you do threaten people all the time. And Betty, you have a very violent history. Just saying. You watch too many of us because you even copy our words, man.
All right, guys, that's what we have for right now. Let me see if I know we were doing some more emails, but that was a good email to kind of end on with Misty's.
Why did no one tell drivers about this new rule?
All right, if you're currently insured, you drive.
I'm sure I've read so much. Okay. And there's just some more information about the stalking and the following. I just want to let you guys know that you guys, if you're not a licensed private investigator, following somebody around and watching them is highly unlawful.
Did she just say that? Let's back that up. Did you all hear that?
I want to let you guys know that you guys, if you're not a licensed private investigator, following somebody around and watching them is highly unlawful. Okay, it's called stalking. Yeah, you can't go and harass people. You can't threaten people and then start following them. That is.
Oh my God! Did she just not do that to Mr. Bowersoxs? She followed, harassed, and stalked that man. She's done it to the Proudfoots. She's done it to so many people. Are you kidding me? What the... Betty, what is in that coffee cup? Because it distorts your reality like no other. That's one hell of a distorted little mind of yours. That's exactly... You break the law. You just did all that. That was... You just described yourself to a perfect T. Oh, my Lord. Is she serious?
Is without a doubt a major criminal violation. So I just want to make sure everybody out there understands the law, because people are violating the law on this platform. One person I'm already suing that was, of course, involved in this, in all of it. She always is. Every time you turn around,
involved in what?
You hear at least one of two names. Always
involved in what? What are you talking about? Who's involved in? You keep making these accusations, and you never ever have no proof. What exactly has she been involved in? You've been the one harassing, stalking, and threatening people, including her, threatening her. You're the one doing it. So how is it her fault? How is she behind what you're doing? Because I haven't seen anybody else following the Bowersoxs. Speed, pulling out like a bat out of hell, watching for him to come out of a parking lot, pulling out like a bat out of hell, speeding up to follow him, then jumping out their car to verbally assault a man in the middle of a road, stopping traffic and everything else. Yeah, I've only seen that from one person. You, Betty. You. So again, how is it her fault? I know you're going to do a filing with the court over this and try to, it matches up with all the other crap you filed, all the other bullshit. I want to know how it's. I don't know. Does anybody know? Because I don't know. She should go. Don't fake the funk. Don't fake the funk. That's cool. Doesn't realize her days on YouTube are numbered because of her reckless behavior. Yeah, no one else's. Hers. I should go print out a PI license for myself and follow Betty around next time she's in my neck of the woods. It would be as valid as her media pass, but who cares? Probably more valid. I mean, what the hell is she talking about? She's uneducated. Yeah, she brags about her Cracker Jack box education as a paralegal, but I don't believe she's educated at all. And that's why I call it educated.
Always involved in everything that has to do with law being called on. And they're utilizing law enforcement involved in everything. She always is. Every time you turn around, already suing. That was, of course, involved in this, in all of it. She always is. Every time you turn around, you hear at least one of two names always involved in everything that has to do with law being called on. And they're utilizing law enforcement for some content. They're trying to get me arrested for content. And I want to make sure that that's notable here on this platform, that they are literally breaking the law, utilizing law enforcement resources. And now that I'm calling them out on it and actually have it, the proof is in the pudding. They're actually trying to tell their audience.
Okay. All right. That's it. My next thumbnail on. Yep. Nope. My next thumbnail with you is going to be pudding. It's going to be pudding. Betty, all you've done is show that you're the one actually doing these things. Your footage doesn't show anybody doing anything but you. Are you really that distorted in your head? How is she responsible for you having the front desk call your room and then you pressing the receiver button down not once but twice? Then you hung up the receiver altogether and picked it back up, and conveniently the girl's still on the phone, which no, that's not how it works. Okay, how does she have anything to do with that and law enforcement? How does she have anything to do with you waving a cop down to get pulled over? You were already pulled over. You waved the cop down to get his attention. That's why he turned around and pulled up behind you. Because I'm going to play a video here real quick that shows they didn't pull you over. You were stalking Mr. Bowersoxs at Sam's Club. You were stalking him. And you got caught. And you tried to twist it and turn it to save your ass. Sadly, there's idiots in your chat that buy everything you say. I don't get it. All they had to do was watch the same video footage. But you can't blame this on no one. You can't blame this on no one but you. I would have given Clue the same advice. You were all over the place threatening Cluminati, saying you were going to file frivolous, false police reports on Clue. You were threatening Clue multiple times. I would have given her the same advice too. I would have given her the same advice to also do a police report because, see, you're the one that said you were going to do it, Betty. You're the one that brought law enforcement into it. So yeah, I would have told her to do one to have her own paper trail for protection as well. Yeah, sure would have. That's not telling someone to do it. That's just giving some advice. Whether they take it or not, that's on them. But you can't blame that on you have no evidence.
That I was the one
Hey,
that
Terry.
instigated this.
Hey,
When I was
Raz.
doing nothing but working and staying out of everybody's way. And it is absolutely proven by my trip video. That is my trip. Okay?
Yeah, as bad as it is down here with road rage, I worry that she's going to. But see, she doesn't, though. See, Betty knew, number one, she'd been watching Mr. Bowersoxs. She knew that he was by himself. She also knew she had her phone streaming live. She made that clear to him. Now, he knew she was streaming live. But besides that, she also knew that that old man wasn't going to do a damn thing to her. But one day, she's going to think like she does, like she knows it all. And she can be a body language expert. And she's going to approach the wrong person like that. And I don't think she's going to like the outcome. And I'm not threatening you because I'm not the one, approach me like that. You might. But, I'm just saying it's not a threat, Betty. I'm just saying that you possibly couldn't like the outcome if you do that to the wrong person. You knew that old man wasn't going to do nothing. Because you made sure he knew you was live. You made sure you put on a big scene in front of people with other cars and stuff around. Betty, you are so see-through. It was so fake and manufactured drama because you poked and poked at them and they weren't giving you no response. You go into their homes and putting up flyers. Nothing you did was getting a response. So you had to make it up. And you failed miserably at it. The alleged phone call, epic fail. Epic fail. The pulling over by the police, epic fail. Watched you wave the cop down. Even Spanky Boy said you waved him down. By the way, I don't know how much of a friend he really is because he calls you Bullhorn Strangler. Just FYI. But you seem to be okay with that because you claim to be BFFs with Seth. But yeah, he just made you the butt of his whole jokes. But anyway, it is what it is.
You didn't see any interviews on there. You didn't see knocking on any doors. I stayed to myself. I stayed in my own lane. Had no reason to be.
I don't believe you didn't try to talk to anybody. Betty, you were creeping in their neighborhood. You were going up and down past their house, recording their home and putting it on your social media channels. You've accused them of murder. You accused them of some really horrific things. So yeah, you weren't being, oh, never mind.
Threatened by my life. I had no reason to be stalked.
You were not threatened by your life. Stop lying. No one threatened your damn life. You have no idea. Keep crying wolf. You know what they say. Keep crying wolf, Betty. Because the one time it really does happen to you, no one's going to believe you because of all the times you cried wolf. Just saying.
And I had no reason for law enforcement to have ever been called on me. And I'm going to keep bringing that and keep pounding that home until people get it because I saw this disgusting troll. These people, you guys stay away from them. And don't send me their shit because if it's counterproductive for me, I don't want to watch it. I don't even look under the hood. When they talk shit about me, I don't even look at it. I don't want to know. Because everything that comes out of their mouth, they have no idea about. They don't know anything about this case. All they're doing is spreading around misinformation or reading
Dallas, what do you want?
None of it is their actual work. It's everybody else's work.
Hey.
So they're the furthest people with any breaking information on any type of case anywhere. So why would you watch them?
You want an apple?
Enjoy them criticizing literally everybody and putting people's lives in danger. That's the only good purpose for supporting those channels. And how do you support those channels?
Wait a
Just
minute.
by watching. That's the only. them.
Sorry, guys, I'm going to back us up because I was talking to my little one. He wants an apple. But I want to hear what she says here.
Criticizing literally everybody and putting people's lives in danger. That's the only good purpose, them, any type of case. So they're the furthest people with any their ass case. All they're doing is getting comes out of their mouth. They have to look under the hood. When they talk shit about me, I don't even look at it. I don't want to know. Because everything that comes out of their mouth, they have no idea about. They don't know anything about this case. All they're doing is spreading around misinformation or reading news articles. None of it is their
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh, hell no. Yes, dear. Well, of course, I would never let you have an apple and not her. Of course. Why do you always ask me that? Y'all nuts. Oh, hell no, Betty.
Is spreading around misinformation or reading news articles. None of it is their actual work. It's everybody else's work.
Betty, where do you get your content from? It's everybody else's work. From news reports, news articles. Is she freaking serious? What? What work do you do? You have everybody do. I hear you always asking your chat to do all this stuff for you. Knock it off.
So they're the furthest people with any breaking information on any type of case anywhere. So why would you watch them? Unless you enjoy.
Why would we watch you? Because the same could be said for you. You get your content off all the news stations and news articles and newspapers, wherever you then you resort to the gossip and the rumors, which you're fine with spreading because you have no problem lying, from the Facebook groups and the Twitters. Why would anybody believe you? You never have breaking news, Betty. It's already out there. That's how you got it. Because the real news put it out there. You're not the real news. And this is fucking insane. Betty, this is all, you are describing yourself better than anybody could. Because this has all been about you. You projecting much?
Wait. Them criticizing literally
not yet. Not that I know of, Dorothy. I haven't. I don't know if anybody else has.
For supporting those channels. And how do you support those channels? Just by watching the video. You're putting money in that content creator's pocket. You need to think about that.
Okay, yeah, they're putting money in your pocket. They need to think about that. They're putting money in your pocket for you to harass, stalk, and threaten the family of a missing child. For you to frivolously sue people. For you to constantly lie about people. For you to threaten other YouTubers because you're so jealous of everybody. I don't know why, but you are. Well, yeah, I do know why. But that's for another day. Betty, you're exhausting. I'm going to get in the pool with my kids after I'm done with you. And then in a hot shower because I feel dirty after watching you.
You need to think about that. So, anyways, guys,
no, because I don't give you any of my money. And the only time I give you is when I'm reviewing you. If it's not worth reviewing, I don't give you my time. But I damn sure am never going to give you any of my money.
Stay, rock it out with your coffee beans out. We are here for Team Sebastian. We are breaking this case down from the front lines, boots on the ground. And we're going to continue to do this. We are going into...
You're breaking the case down from the front lines. Almost 5 months later, she's breaking the case down, peeps, from the front lines. Hey, 10. What are you doing?
With the area.
You've done nothing, but okay.
Now we've done our fact-finding trip. We have some areas to search. Now it's getting those.
Okay, so she wasted their money going there this time because it was just a fact-finding trip. Hey, Patricia Sell. She never planned on actually physically searching, because that's how you find somebody who's missing. You look for them, right? No, she was fact finding. Betty wouldn't know a fact if it smacked her in the freaking face and knocked her out. She didn't find any facts. She created drama to get the numbers. So now she's going to grift for more money to go back down there yet again, but not until August sometime. It's okay if it's, 6 months later. Oh, my Lord. I can't.
Those areas to search.
Hey, K-Mash.
So that's what I'll be working on.
Yeah, I'm going to show it.
Until we get back out there. I plan on being back out there at the end of July and beginning of August. And we are going to be doing our searches out there where we can do our searches. Now, I expect to have some more complications because we have people that are stalking me and want to see me dead. So I'm going to have to, obviously take different.
Nobody is stalking you, Betty, and nobody ever said they wanted to see you dead or hurt in any way. Stop lying and manipulating for donos. Guys, I got to tell you something. I have a Cash App and a PayPal and Super Chats. If I tell you that somebody's stalking me and wants me to die, would you fall for it? I mean, her PayPal's probably zinging. I'm kidding. Hey, Revival. Yeah, let's hope so. That would be awesome that he's found. That would be beyond awesome.
Cautions.
Hope
and
says
I will
nope.
Tell anybody from this point forward that
So y'all wouldn't. Oh, no, but Marcy, how can I give you receipts? They're not going to put it on in writing that they want me dead. And when somebody wants you dead, you need to have money. It works for Betty. I've got to have something on, in case I got to make a quick getaway. Need something on the cards. Yeah, no.
You dox my location, then you're obviously wanting to see harm to me.
Betty, you tell everybody where you're at. You stream everything. If you were so scared for your life, why the hell you telling everybody where you're at? And why the hell you traveling alone? Just questions.
I will no longer accept that. And I will start filing lawsuits to protect myself. I will start filing protective orders to protect myself, to make sure that these people stay away from me. If that's what it's going to take, we can have that all done within 2 weeks to 30 days before I even get there.
Okay. Well, Betty, good luck with that. Do you have all this money? Because they're not going to forgive. They're not going to. You're not going to keep. You're not going to keep getting your filing fees waived, Betty, because they're going to be tipped off about your income. And on what grounds are you getting TROs against anybody? You may get one against yourself because there's plenty of proof of you being the aggressor. There's no proof, however, of anybody else being the aggressor. You would be stupid enough to go in court with that video because you really think you got something big on that video. All it shows is what an asshole you really are. Really. And it shows you the aggressor. But where's all these other threats and stuff? What grounds are you going to sue anybody? Good luck filing all these lawsuits. Because time and time again, you'll just get laughed out of court. Just saying. But however, there may be a couple coming your way. You just never know in this crazy world. You just never know. Instead of you worrying about the frivolous lawsuit you got going on right now, that you are so lost in, you have no clue. You don't even know what you're doing. You need to maybe worry about that one before you start, saying you're going to have others. Because you do know, because I know that you know that you're not that legal ease, and we know that, but we're not, Listen, You can't go around threatening to sue people all the time, Betty. That's going to come back to bite you. Just saying. And you never know. Little Papa may want his fork back. He may be filing to get that damn fork back. You just never know. You should maybe move on and find yourself a new Little Papa and maybe throw the fork in the garbage. Just saying. Time to move on. There's lots of Little Papas out there. Shouldn't be hard to find one.
Kind of shenanigans keeps up. I have a right to move freely in this country. Nobody will stop me. And you don't have the right to sit there and make decisions for other people that you don't represent. You don't own the state of Tennessee. You don't own the state of Sumner County. You do not own Gallatin. You do not own Hendersonville. As a matter of fact, we the people do. And that's something everybody's going to have to get on board.
No, we the people do not. You are not a resident nor taxpayer of Tennessee. You don't own squat. You don't own squat in Florida, but your house. You don't own the courthouse. You don't own the roads. You're got this delusion. I'm not sure where it comes from. Maybe the caveman days. I don't know. But Betty, you don't own squat. And you definitely have no say-so in Tennessee. At all.
Understand. Nothing's going to stop our mission. We're here to seek answers for Sebastian Rogers. We're here to have people held accountable at this point because something has happened. Whether he's still alive or not, it doesn't matter. Somebody did something that needs to be held accountable.
Okay. It doesn't matter if he's still alive or not. It does not matter. Hey, Sherry. It does not matter. Betty just said it. In her little distorted pea brain, it does not matter if he is alive or not. Betty, you are not law enforcement. You are not judge and jury. It is not up to you to make anybody responsible because you don't have a clue as to what you're doing. Not a clue. You are attacking innocent people where there is no evidence that they've done anything. They're nonstop eaters. Now they want cookies. We the people, yeah, we need to reach the preamble. She needs to read the preamble. Yeah, but that would require brain cells.
And so now we're at this point.
We are.
Now we're at this point.
Oh.
All right, guys. God bless. We'll see you soon. Rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth.
No, don't listen to her, people. Don't listen to her. Take your blinders off. Get out of the tunnel. Quit being tunnel rats. Do not listen to her. I want to show you something. Some of you may have seen this. Some of you may not. And I may have more of these calls. But have not been put out yet. We'll see how it goes. Is this supposed to be all one word? I don't know. Let me see. Oh, no. Came right up. Okay. She sent it to me. Oh. Okay, I got it. I'm going to share this with you. Now, we all know she followed and stalked Mr. Bowersoxs at Sam's Club. We all know that. We all seen it. He also has a receipt to prove he was actually inside Sam's Club at the time. But of course, Betty's saying that that's a fake receipt, of course. And, Brittanyj's dumbass panel, well, they're all dumb shits, But this is from literally Davis. And she has a lot more of these, but you have to go through them to find the ones for her. And it's hours and hours of it. And it's really hard to hear. You have to, yeah, she's putting out some work, but I may help her with some of this. We'll see. Yeah. And here we go. This is about Betty being pulled over at Sam's Club. Remember, he did not pull her over. She waved him down. He then turned around and came up behind her, and immediately she jumped out of the car, which you don't do when you get pulled over, unless they tell you to. But you stay in the car until they tell you otherwise. Excuse me. So, yes, was she speaking to an officer? Yes. But it's because she waved him down. He was not pulling her over. He wasn't even behind her. He had to turn around to get behind her, to pull up behind her. But it says, I'm sorry, officer, what was that? Now listen, because I'll play it a couple times. It's hard to hear.
I'm still just as petty as the old me.
Hey, Bullhornbetty. Correction. They didn't pull her over. She's in front of Sam's house.
They didn't pull her over. She's in front of Sam's Club.
They didn't pull her over. She's in front of Sam's house.
Because that's where she waved the officer down at. She was not pulled over there. She waved him down. He turned around and came up behind, pulled up behind her where she was sitting. I'll keep playing it.
They didn't pull her over. She's in front of Sam's house.
She's in front of Sam's.
Oh, Terry Bowersoxs. Oh, you want to come around here? Oh, look at who it is. It's Terry Bowersoxs. Look who just pulled up.
Okay, I watched this tape a million times. He was not behind her the way she's telling people. He was pulling out. Was his car behind her? Absolutely. He was pulling out. He went out and around her. The windshield, the front end of his car was not behind her license plate. The rear passenger side was, because he was pulling out around her. Betty was sitting there waiting for that man. She knew that he was in Sam's Club. She was there waiting for that. She was waiting on that man. She knew that he came out. She's the aggressor. She took off like a bat out of hell, sped up to catch up to this man. And then we all know what she did next. She verbally assaulted this man. She waved down that officer because if the cops should have been, I'm sorry, but I really think that the cops should have been called when she was carrying on like this. And also, it was not YouTubers. It was a local. We'll play it again.
And they told me, so tell these motherfuckers they could blow me.
Whoa.
Hey, Bullhornbetty.
Okay.
Fuckers they could blow me.
Oh no.
Email. Hey, Bullhornbetty. He's gonna be out. I'm gonna drive you. Email. Hey, Bullhornbetty.
Now, a neighbor had called in about her reckless driving. But they did not pull her over. Listen to what's said next. I'm going to turn it up. So, I hope if it's not too loud. I truly believe she tries to keep that officer there to say, look, there's following and harassing me, in my opinion. Could be. Could be. I put nothing past Betty. Nothing. Hey, Motor City Dog, how are you? Hey, T-Pack. Hey, Mona Lisa. Okay, here we go.
Correction. They didn't pull her over. She's in front of Sam's house.
Okay, listen.
Correction. They didn't pull her over. She's in front of Sam's house.
They didn't pull her over. She's in front of Sam's now.
They didn't pull her over. She's in front of Sam's now. They didn't pull her over. She's in front of Sam's now.
And do you think it's any coincidence that Betty, and I don't believe in coincidence, but do you really think it's coincidence that Betty is sitting right there at the exit from Sam's Club while Mr. Bowersoxs is inside getting rung up to leave? Absolutely, I do not. My head does not screw off at night and sit on the nightstand. Hey, Ert, my buddy, how are you? Something's up. That was bullshit.
Oh, Terry Bowersoxs. Oh, you wanna come around here? Oh, look at who it is. It's Terry Bowersoxs. Look who just pulled up.
Look who you were sitting in wait for. I truly believe, and I stand on it. Prove me wrong. Show me, Betty. Because that man is in his hometown at his local strip mall doing some shopping. He wasn't following you. He wasn't stalking you. Why were you sitting right outside the entrance and exit of Sam's Club, Betty? Because you knew. You came from Sam's Club parking lot. You knew that Mr. Bowersoxs was there. You made them. How people don't see it, I don't get it. You literally were talking about why you were in the parking lot being at Sam's Club parking lot. So you tell me, what were you doing sitting outside the entrance? Why did you not leave? Because you were waiting on Bowersoxs. You knew he was coming out, and that was the way out. Hey, Gma. Yeah, she's full of shit. She's full of shit. Hey, Mystery. But there's going to be more. It's just getting through all those hours of the scanner and getting, you have to make sure you can hear it and that it's, definitely her, like in those ones. And match it up with the times that, but it clearly said, correction, she was not pulled over. She was at the Sam's Club, by the Sam's Club. But she was not pulled over. She waved that officer down. I've been saying it since it happened. Yeah, she's going too far. She's really, and I truly believe, and again, this is just my thinking, but I truly believe it's because she does have Seth right there beside her, co-signing all this crazy crap. That she's pushing it more than she's ever done. And I do believe she's going to continue. It's not going to stop. She's going to be putting out all kind of shit now. She already put out a video, which I've been on here long enough. I don't have time to review it. You guys have been on here a long time with me. But maybe later tonight, if nobody's live, I'll come live and we'll go over it. But I already know what's in the video. She's going to lie and say that she can prove that Chris wasn't at work. That she knows concrete 100% that Chris was not at work. And she doesn't. She has no idea. She wasn't there. It was almost 5 months ago, at the time when she was there. There's different phases of construction sites. It's also a different season. There's been the time change. There's different things done on different, it's just so much. And then on top of all that, from my understanding, is he left that construction site and went to a different construction site because of all the shenanigans these people were pulling. That's just I could be wrong there, but I'm pretty sure that's the moment she's been spanked in court. Most of her lawsuit was already dismissed, but the judge messed up and didn't do it with prejudice like the judge should have. She turned around and refiled the same shit that the judge told her not to file, and didn't file what she was supposed to file. But see, it's a YouTuber. And let one of the families go legal, and they will win. That's what it's going to take. And honestly, if I was the Bowersoxs and the Proudfoots, I would have been seeking a TRO immediately after these last shenanigans she pulled. Because she will go back there. This is what Betty does. She goes in, she pokes and pokes. When they don't respond, she manufactures the drama, and then she takes off. And she does it everywhere. Same thing as soon as Dolly got arrested and police had enough that day, they said no more of this. If you notice, they all packed up and left, which they weren't planning on doing. She's done it in the Wells case, the Petita. She does it in all the cases. And she waits a couple months until it all dies down, and then we'll go back. Just in Georgia, they didn't have to go back. But she'll be there carrying on for that trial. Bet on that. Bet on that. Mm-hmm. But I think, and this is just my opinion, and my opinion don't matter. I think that there is enough evidence for the Bowersoxs and the Proudfoots to get restraining order against Betty, especially after what she's just done down there. I really think there's enough evidence, which would be safe for the neighborhood because it would keep her from even going there into the neighborhoods. But I really wish that they would get one just for their own protection. And then honestly, that's the only thing going to shut Betty down is legally. No family's ever done that to her, because most of the families didn't have the means to be able to do it or even think about doing it. You know? Or the know-how or the support. You know what I mean? I don't know. Georgia was shameful, but she has reached a new low here. Yeah. Yeah, she finds, hey, Kathy. Hey, Happy Life. Hey, Sheila. She finds a new low all the time. Is there a clip of that where we can share it everywhere and hope some of her subs hears it and believes it? What are you talking about? Are you talking about the video I just played? Where the officer says she was not pulled over? Or what clip, Sheila? Yeah, the video. One of them, is there a mod? Can one of the mods drop literally Davis Fam's link in the chat and also have it in the description? Yeah, that's her video. She DM'd me on Twitter before she put it out. I was just waiting for her to put it out before, I brought it up because it is her video. Even though she said I didn't have to. I just, I wanted to, and she's even said I could premiere them if I want. So I'm going to try to help her with the rest of the recordings and see what we can make out of it. Uh-oh, T-Fax, you're in trouble. You got my mad. Her video of Terry Bowersoxs in his vehicle actually shows how she was stalking him. And the video of her in her room, she mentioned her real name when she was on the phone. She really got crazy when that, yeah. She tells her, that's what I mean. It's so, hey, Debbie Doodles. It's easy to see. Thank you, Ert, so much. It's easy to see that she was the aggressor. Please use that stuff in court, Betty. Because you're stupid enough too, because you just think you know the law so well, and you're this brilliant wannabe paralegal. You look like a fool. Use those videos. And let the Bowersoxs and the Proudfoot use it too, because that would cinch them getting a restraining order. The way she was driving up and down and past their house time and time again and recording the whole way around their house, trying to figure out how to get in the backyard at Chris and Katie's house. Yeah, I think that would be enough. I wanted to show you some stuff of Brittany's, out of Brittany's live, but it took so long to go through Betty's. And then, so if nobody's live later, after I get the kids in bed, I'll do like a quick one, not like a 3 or 4 hour one, but like an hour or two. And because there's something else at Betty's I want to show you. And there's some things I want to show you about Brittany. But yeah. You can't watch her anymore unless I need a laugh. She is shameful. Yeah, tonight I'll make sure I have a few gummies so we can laugh, because then I can really laugh at Betty. Hey, rapper. It's okay, Hope. How are you feeling, Hope? Oh, thank you, Sheila. How are you feeling, Hope? How's everything going? Gummies on 4. Yeah, I might, I only have like 2 gummies left, and I usually do like 4. But I might do the other option. But yeah, it's going to be one of those nights. So we can at least laugh. I mean, but the stuff with Brittanyj needs to stop. She really needs to stop. That girl is no damn victim. And I'm so sick of hearing her say, well, I've never done anything. I don't do that kind of stuff. But that's funny. I'm finding all kind of receipts that, oh, yes, you do. Everybody needs a gummy. You put up with, they're crazy. Yeah. Hey, Granny. But, Britt, I'm tired of hearing it. So I'm going to step up. And I'm going to do a deep dive. And I've done a couple of them, and they turned out really good. But I don't just go back a year, Brittany. I'm going to go back to the start. And hopefully I'll be able to find what I'm looking for, that I can go back to the start. But if not, I can go back 2-3 years. That's fine. But I think that we need to see your victimhood. I want to show in order exactly how you're the victim. Bet you I can't do that. I bet you I can't. But I bet I can show how others are your victims. Bet you I won't have a hard time finding that. I'm just sick of hearing it from her. I really am. And the whole time, all she does is talk shit about everybody else. That girl cannot do a live without bringing up Granny's watching. Blaming her for God knows what next. Next thing you know, she's going to come up and tell you Granny stole Mars or Pluto or something, And she takes it back to to nonsense too, but not so much like Granny. Everything goes to Granny. I mean, everything. Won't even be anywhere in any thought of the conversation that's going on. But somehow she manages to bring her up and put her in the middle of it I'm like, what the fuck does she even have to do with the situation? Any other people sit on her panel, don't say shit and agree with her. It is nauseating as hell. And then you're going to deny that you do it. You're going to deny you do the drama, that you do behind the scenes shit. And you're going to cry and play victim and tell everybody, well, they keep my lights on. Girl. Victim, you are not. Victim, you are not. But we're going to discuss you. Like I said, I can't find anywhere where you're the victim. I've looked, and I'm still looking. I just haven't uncovered it. And I ain't never seen anybody go through so many damn mods either. She gaslights the fuck out of me and others. I'd rather bang my head onto a wall. I'm still eternally thankful for you being on my panel that day. Oh, you're welcome, Greg. I'm glad I was there. I didn't really do much. She wouldn't listen, but yeah. She's obsessed, and it's a scary obsession. It's like she can't stop talking about you. I think she's afraid if she does, she wouldn't have an audience. She wouldn't be getting that light bill paid. You know? That's the only thing I can gather is she's that obsessed. Because it's crazy. This is gold. Okay, just saw what? Yeah, there's a mistrial. I knew there was going to be a mistrial. I was just waiting for the jury to, or the judge to officially rule it. But I kind of called that when that Tuesday they went into deliberations, because I truly think that the jury was very intimidated and very much was aware of the antics of the Karen Reed movement and the things that have been done. And yeah, the judge also didn't run the tight ship she should have. But you know, it's our choice, our courtroom. It's sad because now the taxpayers got to foot another trial. I don't think this one will be hung though. And they'll probably still let her out on bond. You know, it's ridiculous. Hopefully they'll do it right away and not wait. But I don't know. Sweet and Sleuthy. Cool name. You're a recovering BJ sub. I see who she really is now. Ooh. Good for you that you're out there, though. I don't like the way she talks to people, man. She'll just... And she's a coward. I ask one question. She blocked me immediately because Brittanyj blocks you, then runs her trap so you can't respond. That's a coward move. And all I said is exactly what she said. But mine was wrong, because I just said exactly what she just said. But yeah, like I said, maybe tonight, later on tonight, if no one's live, if it's not busy on the YouTube streets, I'll pop up a live after I get the kids to bed, and we'll start with our deep dive on Brittanyj. I do have some things already ready that I can show besides what I wanted to show today. So yeah, I think we'll start on our deep dive. Let's see what we can find. I want to see the perpetual victimhood play out. I'm still pissed at her for being such a coward that she blocked me and then ran her mouth when she knew I couldn't say nothing back. But that's okay. She's immature. Very immature. But guys, do me a favor, hit that like button for me if you haven't. Sub up if you're not subbed up. I am I was so close. I don't even know where I'm at now. But I was actually finally so close to getting 2,500. It does seem to go faster once you get it past, you know. Hey, they put yesterday's live in the green. I'm impressed. I'm thoroughly impressed. That's what I was waiting to see what the review was going to be, or not yesterday, Saturdays. Because I was actually good on Saturday. I kept the swearing to a very bare minimum, out of my mouth. But, there was a few times. But I thought I kept it pretty clean. But I always have to ask for a damn review. Most time they don't put it back in the green. So I'm thrilled when they do. But they'll still run their ads and they'll keep the ad money. See, that's how they do it. Pretty crazy. But yeah, so let me know what you think in the comments. A reminder, it's Burnt Toast. Oh, that's right, Burnt Toast. Is she going live tonight? I haven't checked to see yet. So if I do go live, it won't be till after Burnt Toast. Till like around 10 o'clock. And it definitely won't be a long one. We'll just kick it off with what I already have ready, which would be about an hour and a half. That's what we'll do. We'll just peek in on the stuff I wanted to show you now, because that won't take, all night long. In case Forgotten's going to go live later too. She might go live later too. But yeah. Thank you, Hope. Gosh, you're my savior, Hope. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. And I will most likely snark. Hey. Yes. I will most likely be live after Toasty for a short one. Okay, guys? I will pick up where we left off. Thank you all for joining me, mods. Thank you for everything. Thank you guys for hanging so long. I'll be seeing you on these YouTube streets. Bye, all.